Market downside here this morning as we get more key jobs data just coming out. Also at 8:15, we got that ADP employment change number for August, the lowest since 2021, 99,000 versus 115,000 forecast. That kicked off that initial move to the downside. We're just getting initial jobless claims here this morning in line with expectations, 227 versus 227,000 expected. Continuing claims, 1.838 million versus 1.874 expected there on the week over week. Continuing claims number coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. ISM services PMI. We'll also get the S&P version for the composite and the services number there at 9:45. So 9:45, 10 o'clock. More data to come. The big employment number again coming up tomorrow morning. At 8:30, we'll get the August non-farm payrolls print. Back to the upside here, it looks like with that continuing claims number coming in a little bit lower than expected there, back above that 18,900 level. Again, that initial move down coming on the ADP employment change number, that was the lowest since 2021. So back and forth we go here overall. Market a little bit negative here to start things off once again this morning. About 0.3 right now for the NASDAQ, well off the lows, though, S&P as well.
The last jobs report that we're going to get before the Fed or possible Fed rate cut with the meeting coming up. So we'll have to see how they digest this one. Lots of speculation this morning that would come in better than expected. We'll have to see how the rest of the day goes. Lots to talk about today, guys. Tesla in focus as they look to launch full self-driving in Europe and in Asia. Nvidia in focus again as some discrepancies there, whether they were served with the antitrust notice by the Department of Justice. And NEO reporting here, Brendo, really killing it, really did well.
Yeah, I noticed that. Now, what is it, 5% on my board here off screen, but 5% to the upside for NIO. XPeng about 2% already in positive territory. We did get that Bank of Canada move again yesterday, another quarter point coming off on this side of the border. As you said, the Fed up next here. Raheem's going to come by, Raheem Alani from OCI Group, going to join us here in 15 minutes or so. He's going to dig in a little bit more on the Canadian side of things, what that means for us and what to expect from the Fed coming up as well at 8:45. It's already Thursday, guys. Good morning.
Yes, sir. It's what happens in a shortened week. Thursday, each day comes up a little bit faster, but wow, that was a bit of a reversal. Yeah, I feel like 2 minutes ago, or maybe a little bit more than that, we were thinking, oh goodness, on that jobs number, or at least that employment change number, things were headed right down for like Nvidia 100 would be in play. The Brecher Ledge, if you're watching the aftermarket show last night, was going to be in play. That's the SPY double bottom on the 50 period. But yeah, a little bit of a small reversal for some names. I mean, Nvidia just bounced 104, got to 105. It's going to go across the board. Some of the bigger ones. Tesla had almost filled in last night's gap, well, halfway to previous highs, and it's right back up at the top. So we're right back where we started at 8:15 after we got that second number. Obviously, it was a weird day yesterday when you had like such a big, it was like a relief rally early and then weakness at the end of the day where you didn't even hold on to the gains. And how many times do you see historically down days where a relief rally doesn't stay green? I didn't like what I saw with that, but there's some strength in a few names today. The market might be flat, but not everything else is. I mean, AI got punked. Tesla's looking incredibly strong. And looky, NEO was above the 50 period on its daily chart. It's been a minute. It's there, Sharif. Yeah, no. It's $4.
Oh, now, yeah, it's way up now, 440. We were just talking about that at $4. Good job, NEO. Yeah, what's up, everybody?
NEO.
Yeah, nice to see those numbers coming through today. I mean, the NASDAQ still down 0.36 right now. The ES down 0.11 as we look to see this. There's a little bit of a bounce back off of VWAP right now for the futures. So nice move back up, still underneath 19,000, giving me a little bit of pause for worry. Bitcoin 56.6, so not great. I mean, you know, that 54 level, we don't want to see that ledge break. 2,400 there as well on Ethereum. You can see at the bottom. Mara and whatnot moving around. XOM, I mean, tough day for oil yesterday. XOM back down to 114. Maybe if Randy comes by with a coffee, we'll ask him what he thinks here. He's been wanting to get into this name, and now it's at the bottom. So right here, back into where July bottoms right here. There's been Occidental, things like that have been moving around a little bit. Not much volume, obviously, here in XOM. Only a couple thousand shares so far, and then actually 37,000 in Oxy. Up 0.5%. So, you know, some of these oil names trying to battle back a little bit here. Crazy that BRK.B, Berkshire, $1 trillion. We talked about this. This name just seems to go up like no matter what is happening in the stock market. There's many names making new highs. I mean, look at this. Well, I always talk about J.P. Morgan and whatnot. Look at this Berkshire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 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 boom. It's like 15 of the last 18 days or something have been green. So Berkshire really, really ripping it up. And again, another green day yesterday. It doesn't seem like what about that day when we were crashing in the market? The Nasdaq was down 3%. This thing was up. I mean,
Well, that was a fifth.
It was up. I don't know how that's possible, but I guess it is. So there's Berkshire. I mean, everything was down. The ES was down 2%. Nasdaq was down 3%. Berkshire's up.
Hashtag logic.
That name just keeps on moving. Well, they have a lot of consumer.
Yeah, of course.
I guess, and Coca-Cola and things like that, and some of the banking stocks. So it just goes to show you that you need to be diversified. Randy, we're just talking about you. What a surprise. And XOM is near one of these bottoms again here. So I don't know. We're thinking about trading a little bit of that today. There could be a little bit of a break action here in 113, 114. I think you can get into this 111, 110 area. The return of the bananas are here as well. So
that's what you were trying to do.
Just another name there with Exxon Mobil. So my daughter plays tomorrow at 8:15 in the morning in Brampton. I thought it was 9:50. So
it's not that early.
No, I mean they're there an hour before, so that's 7:15. So we'll be leaving around 6:30, which is about fine.
It's all good.
Anyways, hey, you're the one with the toonie. We got to take that. It's not getting any interest today.
Are we supposed to buy something with that?
There's some money, so you can see that. There you go. Short Volkswagen.
Why are we shorting Volkswagen?
That
because it's
that turmoil.
It's like a little whisper number coming over there. All right. Short VW3 in Germany. I was going to say it's VWAGY.
I know why. I just pull it up in Germany. It's up today, Randy. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that's short the pops in Volkswagen?
Exactly.
Well, the daily chart speaks for itself on Volkswagen. Looks like that one's been trending. It's been trending down for a hot minute. What's this bad news that's going to hit?
Their sales in China and Asia in general are just way down, and they're not the only one. There's a lot of the partnerships with GM and Ford and a lot of the European makes that have been making millions of dollars and selling millions of vehicles in China. So they're buying a lot of domestic cars, BYDs and all the rest.
What are you going to do, man? All those legacy automakers look like crap right now.
And it's hurting them hard. And they're talking about layoffs in Germany, closing plants. So I don't know. There's a lot of Elon questioning their $5 billion investment in Rivian on Twitter. A lot of questions surrounding their moves and their strategy here. So, but it's a big bite.
That is not good. A lot of people questioning some Rivian investment.
Tesla up 2%.
But Tesla's a strong one today. Ooh, Volkswagen. We don't look at that stock very often, but that is nasty. Stellantis chart doesn't look good. Volkswagen chart doesn't look good. Ford chart doesn't look good. GM's isn't as bad.
Sold some GM.
GM's like the only one that doesn't absolutely stink.
Yeah, it's still
GM's chart's the only one.
That $50 break is looking nice.
Yeah, it's probably a sell.
I sold some.
Yeah.
Desk.
Back to the desk.
We were just commenting on the fact that Elon had more opinions on the Volkswagen Rivian tie-up as well, suggesting that might not even happen, according to Elon at this point. And, those headlines probably not going to help as well, as Randy was saying. Tesla, on the other hand, moving around this morning as well. That's the overall market. But if we flip over there's Tesla up 2%, 2.5% now. You have full self-driving coming to Europe by 2025.
Yeah, it's Europe and China, Brendo. They want to launch it there. They're awaiting regulatory approval in both jurisdictions. They anticipate on getting that approval by the end of this year to launch into next year. So we'll have to wait. We already heard them talk about that with respect to China. I think a few months ago, it's the first we're hearing about this Europe thing. Kind of surprised it's not already there.
Yeah, you see all these pictures and images and videos on social media of people sleeping while they're like in their Tesla on a highway. I can't even imagine that on the Autobahn. 200 plus kilometers an hour in a Tesla. And
those things are fast, too.
You know that's going to happen at some point, though.
Well, it's stylish.
Raheem is in the building right now, and he's like, this guy's too much. He's got the pocket square. He's just.
You see the kicks?
What are we supposed to? Of course, I saw the kicks.
Of course. You can't.
It'll be interesting to have Raheem coming up soon. We'll talk about the interest rate. We got the interest rate cut yesterday. We'll see what's going on with the Canadian economy right there again. But what were they talking about?
Tesla. Tesla's
that's what we
strong.
No, I mean, look, I think that this is going to be, the number one trade idea for me today. It's a strong name. It's up 0.5%, continues to work higher. I really like this pre-market break of 226 and change. Tesla's made a lot of day traders a lot of money, also lost a lot of money. But this is going to be a name that runs. And I don't see any reason why we don't stop in and around this 226 area. Let's go upside here on Tesla. The market's falling down and Tesla's not. So I love the relative strength in this name. If we do get dipped by opportunities, I mean, yesterday's closing prices is stuff that we always look at. That's 220. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's one of those things, again, that we get involved with right away. The market seems to be a little jittery here, down 0.5%.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, this sell in September seems to not go away. I mean, we had a little bit of a run yesterday and then just fell right back in. So I'm still pretty, I've turned the guy around. I'm still pretty bearish here heading into today, but I like Amazon long.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's above that 50-period moving average. Relative strength is relative strength. Everything else is weak. Like, I'm not seeing anything that looks good like Tesla does. Like I said, above that 50-period moving average. You're seeing it try to make that continuation play. I still have 220 marked off, but that was a level that mattered to me. Like the first time I pressed into it yesterday, it closed at 219.5. So really, I should just get rid of that. Like, it's not significant. It already double topped up there. So we don't really care about 220 anymore. I'd be inclined to look at previous highs, previous close, general areas for support. If the market decides it wants to dip in, Tesla looking, I think, pretty solid here. It is at a little bit of a resistance spot, but I think the big resistance is at 230, 232 to 235. That was big support off that 270 high, and then you got that lower high in there. That's the area that I think you're running some trouble if we hold a 50 period on the daily. It's always interesting when you got the S&P testing its 50 period on the daily to the downside, and the market's been strong near highs. Tesla's been a weak one this year, relatively speaking. When you zoom it out, you can sort of see it lately made a big rally, but it was playing a little bit of catch up. And it's now trying to get above its 50-period moving average. So Tesla is a little bit counter trend, and I can see it trying to hold out, especially if that S&P doesn't break the floor. If we're able to hold that support level, you want to be buying strong stocks, I think. And I feel like Tesla is one of them. And when Randy talked about Volkswagen there and their investment in Rivian not looking good, well, Rivian is still creeping very, very close to losing this support at that $13 level. It's now at $13.30, so it's very close to this low here. It's about $12.70. And if Rivian can't hold on to this, it could be back to $10 or a hat size. So that's in play. I mean, I probably said this yesterday and it didn't get there, but it certainly has a chance to get there today on Rivian. It's flat today, but it's getting real close to the ledge.
$5 billion.
There he is. Raheem Alani back with us after a couple of weeks hiatus, I guess for both of us.
Yes.
I was away, you were away.
Yeah.
Lots going on, not only in the city, the Toronto International Film Festival kicking off this weekend. There's also more cricket that you are keeping your eye on. You were down in the Caymans watching some cricket. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, cricket is the fastest growing sport in North America, so super keen on what's happening there. Toronto had a big tournament here a couple of weeks ago for the GT20, and a lot of international players came in. A lot of them then went down to the Caymans for the Max 60 T10 tournament. So I thought, what better way to experience this new tournament than to go down and see it? So we went down with the Jaguars. Shout out to the Jaguars. Went down with them and their crew and watched the cricket there. Unfortunately, they didn't make the finals. The Montreal team, the Tigers, actually did end up making the finals and winning the finals. So the owners from the Tigers did a great job there. Great tournament, though. Caymans, great island. If you want to go check it out, it's definitely a place to go visit. And hopefully we'll be back down there for some more cricket as well.
And you were saying there's more this weekend?
There was just this past weekend. There was the Women's International T10 that happened here in Mississauga. So I know someone that was hosting it. So we went to go check that out as well.
Awesome.
So a lot of cricket happening.
Awesome. Are you going to any movies this weekend?
Yes. Tonight is the opening film, The Nutcracker, and then the event is thereafter. So we'll be doing that. I believe we have a couple of other movies that are on the schedule and some events. Here we have a few events that go on.
Yeah, I think that's almost the bigger part of
it almost
Toronto
is
International
who's around and who's around. Unfortunately, I may have to miss the Ravens game. I'm going to have to figure out how to watch the movie and the game at the same time, but we'll make it work. Right, Neil?
Phones. Phones, always away, definitely. It's an interesting week as far as the market is concerned ahead of what's to come with the Fed. Everyone's saying, is it going to be a quarter point? Is it going to be 50 basis points? I mean, they're still pricing in better part of 75 to come off before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I was reading a couple of things yesterday that was suggesting that should or even could be a full 100 basis points that needs to come off before the end of the year, which would need to be then at least 250s somewhere between now and then.
Yeah.
Bank of Canada moves again 2 times in a row here with quarter point on this side of the border.
Yeah, the quarter point was 100% priced in. It was like betting on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. It's just it's a good bet.
Going to happen.
The 50 had a 10% shot, so I believe Canada, we are a very passive economy, so it's gonna be a 25 and a 25. A 25 and a 25. The U.S. has their first shot to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's waiting to see what's going to happen on Friday. Jobs numbers are what they are. And I think just all it does, like we talk about with interest rates, all it does is give a confidence to the economy that companies can go back out to borrow money, which is a good thing. It spurs their businesses. In our simple equities world, we love the fact that now money is becoming more readily available to people. They don't have to be as confined or constrained with potential mortgage payments, things like that. So there's dollars that are coming back into the system. And what that means for equities is you got a little bit of extra scratch on your hand. You might go and throw it into either cricket or into the equities world, right?
Or betting on NFL games.
A little bit of all of it, right?
A little bit of those too. There's a lot being talked about when it comes to the economies and the jobs data. There's been a ton of, I guess, more commentary in the U.S. specifically on these revisions that we're getting that are not so rosy, and maybe the overall picture is not as rosy as if you go back even 2 or 3 months ago. People were thinking that everything's fine.
Yeah.
As far as Canada is concerned, we've never really had that same narrative. There's always been negative narrative around employment. Are we seeing any change there?
I think, again, to your point, like had Canada yesterday announced 50 basis point cut, I think that would have probably scared people even to the other end of it, saying, what do they know that we don't know? Why are they doing 50 when everyone's kind of expecting 25? So there is that sort of element of what are you indicating to the market versus what are you trying to have actually from a macro point of view come into the market? What's going to happen? How's it going to flow through the market? So it's an interesting sort of dichotomy of where you want to be jobs data wise. And there's I think I was reading this morning as well. There's the unemployment rates, and then there's also the new job data, like how many new jobs are available, how many people are coming to the market to get these new jobs. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see what decision the U.S. decides to take and what they want to spur the market with.
Yeah, we saw lowest print since 2021 on that front this morning. So
exactly. Yeah.
Things aren't as good as they're indicating possibly. Tech always ends up being where people focus once those interest rates start coming down. I think it's worth maybe, something for another discussion, but I think it's worth noting that coming from where we were on the interest rate front, basically zero, where is the new normal, quote unquote normal, going to be? Is it going to be 2.5? Is it going to be 3.5 even? But I think, from where we've come from, that's still going to benefit, as you were saying, these companies regardless.
Yeah, no, I think the interest rates regardless are like, we went too far one way and we were too far the other, quite frankly. Having rates that low is just not maintainable, I don't believe. And having rates that are that high could potentially be the norm. But again, when you're used to zeros, you can't go to sixes. So there's a happy medium there, whether it's 2, 2.5, 3. I did actually do a degree in economics, but there's no way I'd even try.
Long time ago. Long time ago.
Yeah, kids that are starting school now, I probably went to school with your parents. So yes, no, not even close to being able to give a prognosis on that. But somewhere probably around 2.5, 3. But it gives, again, just the economy comfort is where I'm looking at it, saying what will make people more comfortable to go out and do transactions. Hopefully they don't all just pile back into, pardon my French, but the stupidity of let's all go buy 9 houses each because I think it's a good idea. Let's not do that. Let's buy 1 or 2 and go on from there. We'll look at other ways to diversify your money.
Probably happens anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
A few ideas as far as tech is concerned on this side of the border.
Outside of Nvidia.
Outside of Nvidia.
Sure.
Make that distinction.
I'll talk later.
TELUS is one of the biggest telecom companies in Canada. I mean, this is a weekly chart you're looking at right now, back at significant levels here on a higher time frame, looking like it's trying to consolidate.
Yeah, TELUS was one who thought it would be interesting because Sean said he gets paid by them to sponsor
He props up
them,
the entire company.
Yes, he has like 9 lines with them, and he told me if I mention them on TV, he gets a 10th for free. So TELUS, make sure you take care of Sean. It's Canada. We have like a limited number of banks, limited number of airlines, and likewise here we have a limited number of mobile carriers. So crushing numbers wise, they put up almost 4.9 billion in revenue, 221 million bottom line. And it's just funny to our international audience. They announced net additions of 100,000 subscribers in the quarter. Almost any country that's probably watching this would say every carrier they know did 100,000 last week. So it shows you who we are in Canada and then the price differentials, and you can gain that kind of revenue, right? So TELUS has done gangbuster numbers. TELUS Digital, TELUS is actually putting more money in buying shares back in TELUS Digital. TIXT, I believe, is the ticker on that one. And TELUS is going and growing.
The one thing with those additions, typically, as far as the wireless market is concerned here, those are coming out of one of the other ones.
Yeah.
So people are always jumping
around.
We have that 2-year, you get tied up for 2 years, and then you just go to the best offer after the.
Yeah. So then they try and find, there's a limited number of people that are coming into the country each year. So they're fighting for those people and then trying to get more people over, for sure.
Shopify, we've talked about many times on this show, all as well as it's been for quite some time here for Shopify. I mean, again, this is a weekly chart, so if you zoom out a little bit, we're just hovering around $100.
Yeah, they announced revenues recently, $2 billion, free cash flow of $333 million. You look at that chart just last month, it was at $75. You're up to $95. So you're getting almost a 27% return in just a month on Shopify. Look at where their revenues were 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. They've gone, they're doing a 50% CAGR over the last 8 years, reaching $10 billion in revenue from $500 million eight years ago. So Shopify is, if you want to look at our bellwether, you want to look at the Nvidias of the world in the US, Shopify is the place to be in terms of tech in Canada. The chart overall has done well outside of that massive run and massive drop back down, but it's continued to grow.
We'll touch maybe a little bit on cannabis closer to November as we head towards the election, because I think we might get some movement depending on the narrative
for sure
surrounding that. I think another area of the market that could be affected is crypto.
Yep.
Again, commentary from both sides, maybe leaning one way or the other on crypto. You brought a few names here: Bitfarms, Hut 8, Hive, all blockchain related at least. Hut 8 we've mentioned many times on the show. Tell us about that one.
Hut 8's an interesting name. It's one where the stock has moved along with the price of Bitcoin. But one thing I just wanted to mention quickly with Bitcoin, JP Morgan just put out a note yesterday. I don't know if you saw that or if the audience saw that, post halving how much the Bitcoin miners are earning. And that number is down to 43,000 a token versus 343,000 in November of 21. So when those margins come down at that big a pace, you're going to see all of these Bitcoin miners eventually take a small hit as they continue to grow. So Hut 8 is going to be one of those ones.
Yeah, and costs definitely not.
They don't change.
Yeah. if anything, going up.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity as well has been all the rage over the past year or so, with many breaches, I guess is the best term. Data breaches right across the entire market. We've had Plurilock on the show a few times. Quite the chart here as well. A huge move up, followed by a huge move down on some debt raise.
That's actually how I learned about Plurilock, was watching Trader TV, and I saw the story and I said, that's an interesting one. So I started keeping some notes and tabs on that one. So it's a good looking story. Cybersecurity is obviously a massive phenomenon, and it will continue to be an important thing in business, because you hear about cybersecurity breaches, every other day, if not every day. But they've done a good job. Their stocks run from what you guys had them on when they were 20 cents, right up to $2. So
crazy.
Good job to Trader TV on doing that. And it's still kicking at 75 cents. So you're still up 300% from where you were when they were first on. Tapped up their balance sheet, $5.5 million financing. They had some warrants out in the market. So 8 million warrants at 27 cents were exercised. So brought in another $2 million. So they've got a decent sized treasury for a small cybersecurity company. So that's looking good. Stock obviously trails down when those warrants do get exercised. Some people probably sell, but that's the nature of the market. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of runway here, and they just signed an agreement with a U.S. agency for $1.1 million. Not a huge ticket, but what it does, it just shows that confidence that they can now go out to other potential U.S. agencies, Canadian agencies, international agencies that we have been accredited by or received a contract from this U.S. Agency for Contract Management Solutions. So it's a nice little story.
Yeah, PLUR on the Venture Exchange here in Toronto is Plurilock. If anybody wants to go check them out, shout out to our friends over at Player Lock, enjoy the festivities and all the action this weekend in the city.
Likewise.
Good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Raheem. Well, busy man. He's going to try and do a little bit of the TIFF and watch some football. It's going to be a good night in here, probably for the Chiefs, but we'll see how that does go. You know what's interesting is when Raheem mentioned Shopify out there, I looked over. It's like, hey, how is Shopify doing after breaking out recently? Ooh, right back into prior levels. So, I mean, we'll see what happens today. I mean, like the market's still not figuring out what it's doing. Like we bounce, we're not retesting the lows, we're not retesting the highs. We're kind of in the middle, and the ES is just slightly red. But Shop in here, I mean, it lost the 200 period yesterday. But when I say previous levels, it's that 68, like 68 resistance to support. That could come into play on Shopify in here. Possibly today if we get a red day. No guarantees whatsoever. Just looking for any key levels of resistance to the upside. Nothing till you get to 74. But yeah, this one could be interesting at $68, maybe even the 50-period moving average. If we do get a red day, Shop's been a good trading vehicle before. What I would not like is if you lose that support level. When this went from 50 to 68, it did so incredibly fast. And a lot of times when you fill in a gap like that, it can be as fast as it goes up. It can come down rather rapidly. So that's a big level, 68 and the 50 period on Shopify. If we have a red day today, you can easily see those come into play.
Not just a sharp-dressed man, but also a sharp mind, Raheem Alani. The thing is, he remembered, first of all, about TELUS, which is crazy. That was so that's great. Thanks, Raheem, for that one. But you know what else I want to bring up here? It's symbol TU on the NYSE. It's almost a 7% dividend yield. So I think it's, you can chase yield. I mean, it's down. It's trying to break higher here, trying to take out these May highs. Right now, it's at this level. Plus, you can sit in it for 7%. I mean, I don't know if that's better than Moomoo or not, but right now, dividend yield 6.8%. There's going to be risk associated with this, as any telco. You've seen AT&T, Sprint. I mean, they're not all treated the same, so definitely do your research. But I didn't realize it was 7%, so I wanted to look that up and show everybody. And of course, that's TU right here, TELUS Corporation in New York. So if you guys, most of you will be trading on that side, but there it is. Trying to break out, nice little smiley face. I like it, man. Above the 50-period moving average. TELUS. Maybe I'll throw some money over here because they do get a certain part of my monthly income spend on the household needs of cell phones.
Just a little bit.
They don't have at-home internet or anything, as far as I know. So I don't know. Just feel like it's just a mobile play, but I don't know enough about it.
You think that's Starlink?
7%. I like that. Yeah, Starlink.
Always get that.
Starlink is what, $150 a month or something like that?
Yeah, it's a special because it's like when you don't have coverage in places. So like here, like nobody's going to get Starlink. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but most likely people aren't going to need some Starlink. But what we do need are upgrades and downgrades.
Nordstrom actually getting an upgrade here, up more than 1% with this note from Barclays and a $23 price target. $230 price target here for Amazon after this Cantor Fitzgerald upgrade. DoorDash here getting also upgraded by Cantor Fitzgerald with a $160 price target. And Chubb, this one is a BRKB name, getting upgraded here by Barclays. On the downgrade side, Dollar Tree, after that big miss yesterday, getting downgraded by Loop Capital, down about 1.5% in the pre-market. We have Goodyear getting downgraded by Wolfe Research. KB Home getting downgraded by RBC Capital Markets. This one is speculated to report in the coming weeks, so keep an eye on KBH. Last but not least, GM, this one mentioned earlier today, getting a downgrade by Wolfe Research, guys.
So to Raheem over here, just chilling out, talking about his kids.
Yeah.
Talking about everything
Travel
a little
plans.
bit here, travel plans, Achilles. All right.
Well, yeah.
So I have Amazon written down here. It is going to be on your sticky note today. So I have it down here yesterday, 172.50. I don't think that's going to be necessarily coming into play here. This is when the futures were going downside. We also wrote down 174. So I feel like that's going to be a level that we're going to have to support here early. Obviously, we'd like to dip buy names. It's where the 200 period moving average is. So I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. If it comes back into here, we can dip buy this name. I like Amazon. Nice upgrade, Cantor Fitzgerald. I mean, retail's been strong. There's been some good reports. There's been some bad reports, but Amazon leads the way. I mean, I think that Walmart is kind of where it's at. It keeps on going higher. I don't know the last time we saw a red day in Walmart. It was probably yesterday. But that name continues to work out. I don't see why Amazon can't either. They have AWS obviously behind it. all that retail, man. Everybody's ordering Amazon all of the time. So I agree with this upgrade. It's been beat up, man. The smartest man continues to be the smartest man. Jeff Bezos literally came out when his stock was at $200 and was like, I'm selling. Sold this thing all the way down, and then it goes down to 155, and now you're at 174. So about 15% off the highs still is Amazon. I think it can get back there. It's one of the Mag 7 that I think has the biggest runway right now heading into what's going to be holiday season, Black Friday, all this kind of stuff coming through. I think Amazon and Prime is huge. And,
I'll be shopping.
Yeah, and then again, the hyperscalers, right? I mean, if Nvidia is going to hit some of these targets that a lot of us think, 33 billion revenues in a quarter, I mean, it's going to come from Amazon, it's going to come from these hyperscalers, and if they're still buying, they're buying for reasons, I'd hope. So let's see what comes next, but I like Amazon here.
You know what? Amazon's the one I'm looking at too. It's got a weird pattern, but it's an interesting one. Starting with the 27th, this is where it closed on the 27th, and the next day, so close here, 170, 75 or so, and then that was the bounce bottom the day after. Close here, 172.5 the next day, that's the bounce bottom. Close here at 4, and then that's the resistance level. It can't get back above it. Close here, it's resistance the next day. So essentially, when it's above its previous close in the last week of trading, it is bounced. When it's beneath it, it has been resistance. Now, yesterday we closed at 173.33, so 173 and a third. So I just think long in front of that. Like sometimes you see something like this every now and then, like a stock will go to that previous close, which is always a key price, and it'll respect it or it doesn't. Right now, Amazon is absolutely respecting the previous close price. So as long as it's doing that, 173.33, like it's anywhere down in that half zone, and I want to be looking long. Pretty much as simple as that. Like it's worked every single day, just noticed it today.
All right, guys, we closed out 55.29 yesterday on the ES September contract. We're right around there right now, 55.25. The overnight high takes us to 55.40, but it's really that 55.50 that we've been using as resistance for the last couple of days. As support, we're looking at that 5,500. Neil was talking about this being a shelf. We're really going to have to defend that level. Otherwise, we're looking at a big down move.
If you haven't done so, make sure you go down to the description of this video right now. There's a link waiting for you there. Hit that link for the watch list. Enter your email address, and then you get everything you need to know every single morning sent right to your inbox for absolutely nothing. Again, in the description of this video, find that link, sign up for the watch list. We send it out to you before we come on every single morning at 8:30. Tesla up 2.6 right now, trying to get back above 225. We've heard about the FSD story in regards to China and how they're going to roll it out in China, get more data, get some approvals, and see where it goes from there. Now we're talking Europe as well by 2025.
Yeah, Tesla had a fantastic day yesterday. Brendo looks to continue the strength today. We're already above that 225 area. To build on what Brendo was saying, full self-drive expected to gain regulatory approval from both the European jurisdiction and the Chinese by the end of this year, with hopefully a soft launch into the early part of next year. We're going to have to keep an eye on this because we already heard about them getting regulatory approval earlier on this year from China. It was really the European regulator that was still the holdout.
I was just reading this note, Elon unveiling reversible seats in the Tesla robotaxi as well. I guess you'd be able to face each other if there's 4 people in it. That would be kind of
cool. Like those English black taxis, yeah.
Kind of Why not? No driver?
Why not?
All righty then. We were talking some NFL there. We're thinking Derrick Henry could have a nice year as well. So we'll see what happens tonight. What is it, 4.5 points or something? We'll have to check it. We have to do our Survivor. I think we have to take Bengals.
There's a one. They were the only touchdown favorite of the Bengals.
It's New England at Bengals, and then I think Bills. But Bills, there might be better spots at home, but Arizona is pretty bad too. We'll see.
Tesla's like the Chiefs.
Tesla's like the Chiefs. No, Tesla got kicked out of the Mag 7, man.
I'm talking about today and tonight.
Today, yeah.
Because the Chiefs are going to beat the Ravens. I mean, Raheem can't hear me anymore, but the Chiefs are going to beat the Ravens, and Tesla's the strong stock right now. It doesn't mean that can't change, but let's be real. It's up 2.5 points. When the market did a little bit of a dip on that employment change, it managed to hold pre-market lows. It's now just chilling out at 225, right on VWAP, some higher lows in there. It's setting up that, I thought I got rid of this. As long as we're out and about and above that 222, and that 50 period is also 222, that's where we like previous high. I just want to play trend up. Ooh, 15-minute with that wick. Let's go back to the 3. So as long as you're trend up on Tesla and holding that 222, I want to be long. I want to be looking for longs. Now, obviously, it's setting up a breakout. I don't necessarily love the breakout, given how big the break was yesterday at the open. That feels a little bit trappish to me because everyone's going to want to try to capture the break that happened yesterday. But if you dip, previous high, that's also be around the 200 period moving, so the 50 period moving average on the daily. So let's see if we can't get back in there on Tesla. And then again, Rivian, another EV name. It's 1270. That would be that big support level. If Rivian loses 1270, I think it could really go flushing. But Tesla, I think, is strong.
I'm just talking with our basically the architect of the software here, because I'm testing sort of a new version here. And he says, how's everything going so far? And I said, so far so good. I haven't done anything. And then I said, don't worry, if anything goes wrong, I'll send you the bill.
Exactly.
So, we'll see. No, we're not expecting anything. There's just a few feature changes. All right. So anyways, 223. Yeah, I mean, that's a great little level there. We've written it down. This is going to be my number one trade here today on the sticky note. You can go find it at Trader TV, Sean. I think just a break long through 226. I mean, this high, 226, I wrote down 226.50. It looks like it's going to be 226.25. I think that's a punch long for sure. I wrote down that dip buy into dip buy now, 232 resistance. We could get it. Actually, I didn't write down a dip buy level. But I was thinking 224 is where we bounced off of. I think it was going to be wherever the 200 period is. It was very similar to Amazon. It was 174. I almost said 224. 174 Amazon, but I like the story. Whenever you're getting catalysts in a name like Tesla, we've seen it rally so hard on nothing. Now, this is full self-drive coming to Europe, coming to China. We know that he's friendly there with Chinese government. And yeah, Beijing continues to support this company. And I like it. I like the name. I think it works. I want to buy the top, to be honest with you. The market's a little worrying to me. We've talked about that. And I think that that's the risk whenever you buy that top. So if you do buy that breakout, which I don't have the order in yet, but I think we like it, and I think you got to use VWAP. So right now that would be 224.75. So I feel like you got to give this one about $2 worth of risk. That might be a lot. So that's how I judge it. Like, if I think that $2 is going to be my cutoff spot, sometimes you punch it at the bottom and you lose and you get stopped out, and that's that. But if I'm looking and saying, okay, my goal for today would be $500. Well, I don't like to lose more than 20% or so of my daily sort of goal on one trade, because that's generally how much you'll try to make on a trade. You see me always scaling out. I mean, try to make more. But the idea there would be that's for the losing side. So right away, you think $2, 100 shares would be $200. So that's the way you'd have to look at it and time it like that. So I think Tesla's worth it. We've held on to trades before and they've worked out, but it can be very, very volatile off the open. We've seen that numerous times. Yesterday, bang, just ripped up like, $10 before it was 10 o'clock. So you take the break yesterday, it's a $8, $9, $10 winner. So that's the kind of thing you have to think about when you're thinking about risk to reward. So we'll see what happens with Tesla, but I like the 226.50-ish area.
All right, let's go on to Nvidia, trying to bounce off yesterday's pre-market lows right now, back above 105 for Nvidia. This was, I don't know, before 3 o'clock, maybe 2:30. Yesterday afternoon, they came out and actually made the statement of, we have not been subpoenaed by the DOJ after Bloomberg initially reported that there was officially a subpoena issued to Nvidia earlier in the day yesterday, which kicked off the majority of the selling. So they come out and correct that. Nvidia comes out and correct that. I was just mentioning to you off camera, I was actually watching the Bloomberg stream online, and no mention that was actually the statement from Nvidia. So we'll see if we can actually bounce today.
It's not an important thing,
No,
Brenda.
fine.
Not a big deal. Yeah, look, I mean, here's the situation. They accused, or the allegations were from Bloomberg, that the Department of Justice is accusing Nvidia of making it harder to switch from one AI producer, so AMD chip, for example. If you want to migrate there, vis-a-vis their CUDA software, keeps you ensconced within that environment. Nvidia basically saying and responding and saying customers have absolutely the freedom to leave, and they assist them in doing so. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is all moot, really, because apparently nothing's been served.
Yeah, yet. Anyways. There's a note on Huawei that just came out. Apple trying to get going above pre-market highs here, now positive on the day, 0.3. Huawei facing at least 2 months of delay in producing enough chips for its next flagship smartphone series, the Mate 70. That's from the information. So Apple just popping up there.
Apple, I think, is number 6 in China.
Yeah,
so it's they are losing to that. But that's the other thing about scaling, right? You could be threatened with Huawei all you want, but at the end of the day, if they can't produce enough phones, people will just buy Apple, and then they won't switch. So Apple has no, as far as I know, we'll wait for a false Bloomberg report or something. But as far as I know, Apple has no production issues with their new iPhone. So we'll wait to see what happens right now. Anyways, okay, so Nvidia, look, it's hard to say anything when you're this close to 100 that you might see a test down there of $100. Yesterday it was, I talked about it, what a great day it was for Nvidia yesterday, because we sort of just played the long and then we're able to get out of it and then play that short. So it's like we made money early on the long and we made money late on the short. The idea is this was such an easier trade, and this didn't show up until 1 o'clock. So we had sort of topped out right there. The market wasn't having the euphoria that it had earlier, and Nvidia kept making these tops. So I feel like that right there, it doesn't matter the price. It's 109.50. We couldn't have picked that yesterday. So you have to let it form out. And I just think that we fought so much. We were short early. We took $2. Then we were able to get long, and we made on the long. But it was really choppy. It's hard, in my opinion, to take a lot of shares and hold for something like this because of how choppy it is. But at the end of the day, we really respected this 50 period all the way up here once we got through the first half hour. And then again here, straight down until we finally broke it right there. And then the trend was over and we kind of got choppy into the close. So for me, it looks like it wants to be a down day. It's already down today. It's under VWAP. So I'm thinking that you can just draw these lines right here. We're going to the 200 is kind of doing it for me. It's a nice downside move. That's 106. So I feel like if you break that, maybe you want to go. But I don't really have any go levels today. So I'm just going to have to let it sit down. It's hard to ignore what that bottom was, but
yeah, 104.
That bottom's at 104. It's pretty clear there. I don't know. I don't really want to sit at 104 because
I don't know.
What are you going to use? You're going to put a couple hundred shares there, and the next thing you know, you blink and you're down 70 cents or something. It's like your stop order. I've not missed, but paid more than I thought.
Especially at the open.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. We have imbalances that could come through. Nvidia's been multiple millions the last couple weeks. So yeah, I think you wait for it.
And it's not that stop orders miss. We use limit orders, not market orders. So you use a market order, you're going to get a fill. But I remember on that Black Monday, stop order for me, I had what I thought was an aggressive order, and it was on Apple, not even Nvidia, and I didn't get a fill. Now, I didn't cross maybe as far as I needed to, but I think it might be a trap at that 104 level. I'm with Sean in that I'm looking pop and fade on chips today, specifically Nvidia and Intel. The difference, I don't know if you get up to 109, 110. That'd be the first place to look because of what happened there. And then afternoon resistance is at 107, but those are just areas. So that's a resistance here, and then obviously at 110. I do want to favor a pop and fade. If the market's not taking out the highs, then you got to round into it. If we lose that 550 on the SPY, that 50 period on the SPY, and we're starting to crash down, then Nvidia is like a join the short situation. On the flip side of it, well, it's not really on the flip side because I guess I'm looking for the same thing. Intel, I'm just looking at the previous close. Like in the morning, it held 19.5. In the afternoon or at midday, it held 19.5. And then it lost 19.5 for a flush into the close. So now with the close at 19.43 in here, I'm looking at the 19.5. If we get there and there's a curl, I'm looking pop and fade. If it breaks 19.5, it is a wait and see what happens unless it gets to 20. $20 was the top yesterday's trade. It kind of tried to do a reverse when the market was going up, and there was the dump. So I still want to say it's a short until it's not. Over with Intel, it's down into a flat market, which still makes it relatively weak, which it's been for quite some time.
Right, C3AI with earnings. I was just reading a note on SoundHound AI as well, launching a new customization tool for chat AI voice assistants. It's not doing anything, but SoundHound with an announcement there this morning, just 0.2%. No volume behind that, but let's touch on AI, the actual ticker.
Yeah, Brendo, a little bit of a bamboozler here. Not really sure why it's down. Maybe, some people speculating it's a revenue and earnings exceeding analyst expectations, but not for the future quarter. So here's a look. Revenue grew 21% year over year. Loss per share beat estimates. Their bookings, the amount of companies that they're signing new contracts with, 122% year over year. Subscription revenue grew. In terms of their guide for Q2 2025 and the full fiscal year, basically the same, unchanged there. So people speculating the sell-off here due to investor concerns about future growth with the whole AI space.
Even the man with the colorful jackets, Wedbush, Dan Ives, cutting his price target. Oh no! Stop. Maintaining outperform, but lowering his price target to $30 from $40 for AI.
Dollars price target, you get half price right now. I mean, down trying to break through 17. I was just looking at the short float here as well, 23%. So shorts are going to win on C3AI. The reason why I just said 17, we're not breaking that there. I was looking at a daily chart. You've already broken through this 20 that we tried to hold yesterday. Did not work, man. The earnings came through, and this is what's going to happen. The shorts are just pushing it lower here. We saw 23% short float, so that's going to work out. Here's the 17 that I'm talking about, right into here. Now, this goes back, obviously, to May, April, May of 2023. So, we had a nice move up, then crashed in, and now you're trying to hold out for some of these levels. I think it's worth waiting. I mean, down 20% could get a lot worse. I don't think we have whatever, you could get an SSR bounce, but it's well extended, that expectation. There was an implied move of 14% on this name. So for me, C3AI, it's extended. I think you want to play the short here, but I could see a lot of short covering because this is a more dramatic move than expected. So I would still say watch out for the 200 period, which is at 1950. And then you have some kind of an area at $20. Psychologically, I think that works as well. So if you're going to be short C3AI, I just think you cover it at 20. I don't know where it goes from here, but just 1-to-1, that bottom we talked about is 17. So you're going to get about $1.60 to the downside there. I think that's dramatic if it goes that far, because to lose another $1.70 on this is another 10%. So you'd be down almost 30%, 27% or so by the time you get to that level. So I would really, really think that we have a chance of holding, but play the short till it's wrong, basically. You can use VWAP has been a very positive indicator on earnings, but you break that bottom there, I think you want to go. Make sure that you can have shorts. I think we can short it here. I mean, I can try with 100 shares. Yeah, you can. So it gets accepted. So C3AI now, shortable. So that's really nice there. I like that. Get funded. I just like that there. Scan that QR code right there, man. Trade the pool.
Popping right out. And so, look, you can short it. I think I'm not going to change anything on C3AI. We were mentioning that $20 level. It was just a little bit higher than $20 on the daily chart there in the aftermarket show. And when it came out and tried to hold that in the aftermarket and then eventually lost it, kind of felt that was going to be the case, that we'd look for shorts back into 20. You're obviously really far away from it now. You're under $19. I do want to look short on Pops. It's got a 23% short float, so it could squeeze. And if it does start squeezing through 19, I think I just wait for it to make some kind of a rounded top or do a trend break. Otherwise, we're looking at pre-market highs, something along those lines. Need to be patient with it because of the fact it's SSR, and it wasn't necessarily the worst report technically, but I don't care. I want to be looking to pop and fade on C3AI. Just feel if the market gets skittish, this will be a difficult one for people to want to hit the buy key.
All right, let's go on to NIO earnings, 4.7% right now, trying to get back to $4.50 for NIO. Pretty good report here right across the board, better than expected. It's helping still all of the Chinese EV names.
Brendo, this was a very impressive report for a company that had been highly critical of in the past. Revenue up almost 99% year over year and 76% quarter over quarter. That's big. Their adjusted loss per share beat estimates there. Vehicle deliveries up 144% year over year and 91% quarter over quarter. Gross margins grew 1%, so up to 9.7, not a bad look there. And their deliveries, the guidance for the delivery, they're looking at 61,000 to 63,000 units for the third quarter, so not a bad look at all.
Not a lot of volume here. It's worth mentioning, guys, with the price being so low, liquidity very, very thick at this point.
Yeah, that's the norm these days for NEO. I feel as if like it used to be a report like this and an update would mean double digits for NEO pre-market, and I'd be staring at it way out in the ether expecting a dip buy. So it's a little bit more controlled today. I think we already pointed out it's above the 50 period, which is at 425 on the daily. I mean, you can sort of see where this is probably going for me. I usually expect when Chinese ADR gaps to the upside, especially on earnings or one of these on deliveries, either or, that first move is a pullback. Like how many times we've seen gap up on NEO, pullback. The last time it did this, it wasn't on earnings, it gapped up and then pulled back off 420. The obvious area would be the quarters. So that's that 50 period on the daily. It's going to have a 5. If there's an update today, there's going to be a 450 break on NIO, right? Like it's not going to. You're at 445 with a bit of a wall here. I don't see a ton of size on 445. There's actually pretty much nothing. But the 450 level is going to be an obvious break. I'd rather play dip buys on NEO if we get them. But Tesla is going to be the first look for an EV name. No questions asked today. And then probably Rivian 2 off support, and NEO would be a 3 for me. But I'd anticipate Chinese ADRs, rather buy the dip. Don't trust the gap.
Yeah, I don't really have it on watch today for NEO. I didn't even, I saw the story and I was like, that's why when we brought up earlier, I was like, what? NEO's at that kind of a level? But yeah, congratulations anybody. We talked about that at $4. Now it's at 440. So I think 10% in a couple days is a pretty decent spot right there. I'm looking at the NASDAQ right now. We will get those imbalances in just a couple minutes, and we'll talk about Google in a second here as it's starting to go lower as well. The market just staying under VWAP, but it's tested it a couple times, and right now starting to go lower as we head into the open. And we still have, remember, those imbalances will definitely impact, right, what winds up happening here. But I'm looking short. I wrote down this break. I don't mind taking this at all. Break down below 60.60. So we'll wait to see if that can happen there early on the daily. So I'm thinking if you're looking for shorts here, you might just take the futures if it comes in early, and then you can always get out if it breaks back up. I mean, VWAP right there, about 80 cents away. We'll wind up seeing what happens, but for right now, I'm looking short for the futures, but not going to get in, waiting for that break of the low there today, because we're only down 0.3, right? I mean, this could be another 1+% down day with not too many catalysts to the positive side. I mean, even Tesla's coming back to 224 right now. Apple, I like Apple's story. I think that
Apple looks pretty strong.
Might be a decent long. I do not like the next long, though. Let's go over to the desk.
Yeah, it might need a little more time here. I was just zooming out a little bit on a higher time frame. Alphabet we're talking about. If you go out on a weekly chart, that's 150, that last high. So if you zoom out, maybe you start getting a little bit more excited down around 150. But it's worth noting, a couple of analysts with reiterating their positive coverage on Google at least. I mean, this is a huge drop. I just checked 21% now off the highs here for Alphabet.
That's a tough look, Brendo. Yeah, we're obviously search in question here as AI develops, but specifically today, the headline is NLX, which is an Italian company. They developed an app called Juice Pass, and it was supposed to offer the EV charging features, tell you where the charging stations are. They requested that Google make them part of Android Auto. Google refused, citing security and compatibility issues, and the Italian Competition Authority, as a result of that, found them in breach of the EU rules and fined Google, Brendo, 102 million euros.
I mean, the story continues. You and I were just saying more and more, when we need to search something, it's not Google it's one of the AI options. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. This portion of the show brought to you by our friends over at Moomoo. If the economy has got you nervous about a recession and tech stocks are all over the place, you should really check out Moomoo's Cash Sweep. They're offering a sweet 8.1% APY right now, way better than most stocks are pulling in. Moomoo is an awesome all-in-one investing app that's partnered with NASDAQ and backed by the SEC. Your money's safe, insured up to $500,000, so no worries there. That 8.1% APY isn't just for show. Your uninvested cash earns interest 24/7. You can pull it out whenever you need. So when tech starts turning around, you can jump right back in with that cash, giving you some extra earning power. Don't let your money just chill when it could be doing more for you. Sign up now, fund your account, and you'll snag 15 free stocks and up to $300 in transfer bonuses. If you're in Canada, you'll be able to receive up to $2,300 in rewards. Just scan the QR code or the link in the description to get started. Shout out to our friends over at Moomoo. Thoughts on Google, guys?
Well, maybe you can set up a scan, alert, or an algo trade for flat bottom breaks. So it says Google there, like Google along with a question mark. I mean, it looks about, unless it holds exactly right here and we just rally for the rest of the day, it looks like one of the more egregious, like weak Mag 7 names at this point. Like this is 155 change on the daily chart. And then you go to the 15. I mean, if this breaks 155, I got to think short on Alphabet here, at least the way it's looking. So it doesn't look all that strong to me. I will say this much. At the dinner table yesterday, I used Google search. Yay, but it was so I could get a picture of a chinchilla because found out my daughter actually in her grade 2 class is in the same classroom. She goes to the same school I went when I was her age. And I had grade 3 in that class. And we had a pet chinchilla. And I told her that like it was always the role of 2 people. They were always assigned that week as the chinchilla catchers because those suckers get into anything and they're so flexible and fast. So we always had 2 chinchilla catchers. And if you were a chinchilla catcher, it was like a fun because it would get away and then you just get to spend the entire hour chasing it instead of doing work. But yeah, we did some pictures. Everything else I use Perplexity or Copilot or Meta. It's weird. Like I find myself out of habit not going to Google as much as I used to. That is no way. That's not the reason that I think it looks like a short today. The chart looks like a short, and that 155 looks like a flat bottom break to me, regardless of what we think about it in the long term. I think they're going to be fine in the long term, but that looks so weak compared to everything else here. Everything else is looking. I mean, Apple looks strong, Nvidia, meh. Tesla looks strong. Google looks weak to me.
Yeah, we had some animals brought to a birthday party of one of our kids, and the chinchilla was the biggest hit. The chinchilla was running around my house. All right, so GME Magic, thank you, 4XAU there. Looking for some GME love. So thank you for the super chat. I mean, GME down today. What day is today? September 5th. Okay. Wasn't this GME's reporting, on the 10th? Right, yeah. So there it is, GME right now, just a 9% short float. And there it is, September 10th after the close. So I don't know if there's a story specific here or not, but thank you, 4XAU, for that one. We've talked about GME. It was holding levels, and then this happened, and now I don't know if you can really trust it. I was going to say, we've been looking at this level right here, 21.75. We talked about 21.50. It looks like we can hold it again. This could have just been a blip. Right, down, nice recovery for sure. So to go from just on the 28th, 29th, from $20 up to 24, I mean, $4 on 20%, you might take that. Now we have to wait to see what happens holding again, 21.50. So yeah, giddy up. I think if you can hold these bottoms, looks like a decent long right now with only a minute, and a half to go.
Oh, Tesla. Guys, we're continuing the trend talk today. We're going to talk about the relative steepness of the trend line, how to use it, what does it mean? If you're into that kind of thing, check out How to Trade with Adair and I at 11.
Yeah, Tesla just dropped a couple bucks. Well,
coming in
a couple dollars in here. The imbalances came out, but I see Neo's a small buy, ChargePoint's a small sell, Plug's a small sell. Nvidia's a 100,000 buy, so there were no significant imbalances, but that didn't seem to matter as Tesla dropped 225 down into 223.5, so maybe $1.50. It wasn't quite $2. Apple continued to the highs actually, so Apple continues to be strong. That Huawei story kind of came out of the ether on us and didn't really have this one on the note. But Apple 222 with resistance. I don't want to punch long on a breakout of Apple, but if we start trending, Note that there was a positive story here, and it looks relatively strong compared to some of the others. Nvidia is back underneath 105. We'll see where the short ends up being. You might not get that 107 opportunity or even like 110 today. Headed right back down to the lows. Double bottom at 104 on Nvidia. I'm not interested in sitting on that bid. But if we do get a chance to short the pop, that was the plan of action here. As Adara is on the bell, look at that look. Go get him in 3, 2, and 1.
Alrighty then.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was a good one. I'm going to take Apple long at 222. Well, we missed it. So it does not come in. Apple breaks through 222. We get the long now. We're long Apple. We'll give this a little bit of room to see if it wants to work. Apple early long here, breaking that level. Could easily fall, right? That's a nice little early motivation there for Apple. 221.50, looking at that as a level.
Yeah, Apple, nice moves to the upside there as the market is trying to go back up. Oh, yeah, there was a big spike in C3AI. It went about 70 pennies to the upside, waiting for that $20 level for it to come back in. Tesla's testing out the lows. It looks like Tesla's going to have to settle down a little bit here as it's still working its way to the downside.
All right, we're absolutely monstrous right now on Apple. So here it goes, man. Nice little move to the upside. We tried to learn from the other day. Take profit when it goes up. We've been in these positions before. We're already out of almost half. I'll put another piece out to get out of half here on Apple as it's trying to break through 222.40s. It's battling it out right now. Market not doing anything, but Apple is trying to go. There we go. We get that 49 fill. Now let's see if it goes. We're also waiting at 68. We'll take another piece out there at 60. Here it goes. Apple, nice little sort of early start here. Amazon does rip up as well. There goes Apple.
Yeah, Apple looking very nice. Look, the market is absolutely flying. Amazon's gone. Google just flew as well. Noting I said I didn't want to break in NEO. NEO false broke 450 and pulling right back in. So still looking dip buy as opposed to any breakout on that. Here comes Tesla finally joining the party into the upside. But what's going first is going to be C3AI. So C3AI is really starting to pump. It just tagged that $20 level. Wow. 20 to 1950 in a matter of seconds on C3AI. That was fast. It was just up at 1990. We're going to fade this. We have to let this one calm down. That was absurd.
Man, this is a monster. And it's Apple, man. I mean, we're 70 cents in the money right now and still have about 25% of this trade. Whew. All right, that was a good one. All right, you mentioned Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's going the other way. I had mentioned 220. We had written down 226 break. That didn't happen, so we're not in it yet. It just made a bottom right there. This could be a good take of VWAP as we continue to rip a little bit higher here on Tesla. So this could be the play. I just typed in VWAP in my charts. All right, so this could be a play on Tesla. I just wanted to see where VWAP was exactly on E-signal as well. Yeah, 224.13 right here. So okay, there it comes. That's probably a decent spot there. We are now $1 in the money on Apple. We really like this 222 break, man, and we put on shares. So far so good here as that's starting to go upside. And then our Amazon, which was the other long that we had, is an absolute rocket ship right now to the north side. So congratulations anybody that hit that Amazon again. You know, you sort of didn't have a chance other than buying the open. So we're glad we did it on Apple, missed it on Amazon.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like you had to get it right away. Tesla's still trying to go in here. Okay, Intel just backed off 19.5. Tesla's trying to go. It didn't quite give you a consolidation or anything down at 222. It might just end up a breakout. I didn't want the break. I thought we'd get a better chance of the dip buy. Intel tagged the highs. It closed at 1943. It just tagged 1942. So I want to short pops in Intel. We're still on that realm. If we get back down in 1920s, want to be taking it out in front of the low of the day. 19 even is going to be a level for sure. Oh, wow. Here comes NVIDIA's at 107 already as well. So Intel still want to be short that one, but NVIDIA does want 107, and Tesla's about to break the high. Here it comes.
So we had a great day yesterday, and today is infinitely better on one trade. Yesterday we only traded two names off the open. It was Amazon and it was Nvidia. Today we switch it over and go right over to Apple and just absolutely nail this one. Up $1.40 now on this Apple trade with serious shares. All right, so get back into here for Tesla. Yeah, Neil just mentioned taking out the top. It did try to do that up there at 226. That was a level for some kind of a concern for us. A little bit of a drop in now. Let's try to take some longs here. I think we're a little bit early on reloading it. I like the long, but we could drop into VWAP, which is that 50 level or so, 224.40s or so there. So watch out for a little bit of a drop down in here on Tesla, but I think it's worth a shot. Give it one more go here. If we break 224, we can get out, but we are absolutely just electric right now on Apple. Apple's at 223.40s and still going. That's $1 right now, 34 in the money as we wait to see what's happening here with Tesla, though. This one could give it up, but we're going to wait for a 224 break.
Wow, Tesla does not want that breakout just yet. I'm still going to wait for 222, 223 unless it's the breakout trade. But Nvidia is at 107. If you see me go into Nvidia, at this point, it would have to fail the 107 level. All right, here comes the Tesla break.
Yeah, buddy.
Got to stay on level 2 here. It's about to take out that 226. No fill. No fill.
What are we even doing?
Don't chase.
Guys, already another $1. We'll take 2 names today. Both names, Dollar Club members right here. Nice play for Tesla. All the way back upside right now. Huge trading for Tesla today. Huge trading for Apple. This is a face slapper. We're already net-wise where we were yesterday, and we talked about battling that back. So there goes Tesla. Monster moves to the upside, man. We are $1 in the money on that reload, but we just did try 226.50 long. So let's see if that can hold it, man. What a day, Neil. It's happening all over again.
227 looks like, okay, so it eventually did get picking back up at that quarter level. So I did not get the break at 226. I actually got quarters on the way back in. I'm sitting bid, but this is looking very top heavy as the market's really starting to extend into the upside. So I'm worried of this being a false breakout. I don't want to give it past 220, 225 and a half. Do not want to give it past that. If we lose that, I don't want to get trapped at the highs, but it looks like it's absolutely flying into the upside here. Google's going, everything is heading to that upside. You got to have some longs in here. There's like Hoth that's halted, but my level of concern is going to be, hey, if Intel gets dragged into this mess and breaks 19.5, I got to get the you-know-what out of Dodge. So if it breaks 19.5, I'm jumping out. We took 10 cents, and then now it's absolutely flying. I'm not going into a long on Intel, but I am getting the heck out of that short. 227 is already come and gone. Now 228 coming in on Tesla. As far as resistance, $232 is the biggest level I can find on the daily chart. But I want to make sure we grab this profit in front of 228. It feels like this is too much too fast.
We're $2 now, Neil, in the money on Apple right now as that continues to go. And look, yeah, you'd be surprised, right? Look at this. 226.50 break right there as listed on the sticky notes. So some of these times you guys are like, hey, let's figure out some trade levels. What is this guy going to be trading? Yeah, we're trading this one. And now it is $1.50 in the money. We've made multiple dollars. Our first buy was $2.25 on Tesla. There it is. It's $2. We are now higher, much higher than we were yesterday. So there it is right now. Today is another one. And we're going to props it up to everybody. As there it goes, Neil. We are now $2 we're $4 in the money now. We're $2 in the money on Apple. We're $2 in the money on Tesla. This is a day. This is a day. Hooray, hooray. The NFL is here. TIFF is here. We're here. This is an awesome way to start off your Thursday. It's good to be a bull, man, but we just had the right names. Tesla, huge. Amazon, I mean, if you guys took that one being bullish on that name, there is almost no better of a trade there than Amazon, but, you know, that one's just straight up. Like, you didn't even have to worry about it. But honestly, this Apple trade here, the amount of shares that we took here is probably the most in a long time here. So we're really, really happy and proud that we're able to do that one. So $2 both ways here.
Yeah, and both ways, and great looks to the long side. Just very quickly, we're at 19,000 on the NASDAQ. I trailed out the second I saw we're up there. I'm going to take it station to station. I'm not trusting after yesterday the way that the market turned off that initial move to the upside. So when we came up and down the 228, I grabbed out. You're getting a bit of a turn in Apple. That's the other thing that I'm seeing happen here. And if Apple starts to, it started the mess to the upside. So if it starts to pull back, then I think it can drag us with it. NEO didn't dip quite into the 420 level, but it's now starting to break it out. I still like the NEO long, but I wasn't willing to take it off of the top. I do want to join this off of VWAP or just a retest of the $450 level on NIO. It's starting to go with everything else. Adara.
Small cap stock on watch here. HOTH, Hoth Therapeutics. This one currently halted here, seeing a theoretical auction price of $1.32. announcing some positive data here from its treatment for skin toxicity disease. Only using one patient here, but saying the results within a week. So HOTH. Nice move up, guys.
Oh my God.
All right. Yeah, hit all the sound effects, my guy. All right, Tesla is just absolutely huge. Congratulations, man, everybody that believed in this name. Congratulations to the traders behind us, man. It's Moneybag Yo back there. I mean, this is just absolutely getting crushed. Yesterday, Nvidia was destroyed. Today, Tesla ownership on that one, man. Buy yourself a Model Y. Nice move to there it goes again, Neil. Let's go. What a day this is. Happening right in front of everybody, man. We wrote it down. It's $226.50. Welcome to $3. Apple is $2 in the money. I don't know. This has just been an absolutely fantastic day. I've canceled all of my shorts. I am not shorting Intel. I'm not shorting Palantir. I'm going to let to see how far this thing can ride upside. But right now, it's Apple's huge. Tesla's huge. Great day over here, Neil. Let's go.
Yeah, it's been a great day so far for those longs. We just broke 19,000. There is a bit of a pullback coming in. So if you're looking to buy dips, this might be your first opportunity. I still don't necessarily love C3AI. I'm looking to short that one. But we're going to go back over. If you're joining Apple, I think that 222 is going to make a little bit of sense. Sorry, still on C3AI. I don't want to miss this turn here. It's looking a little bit top heavy. So here is... That is AAPL over on Brazil. I have no idea why. Here's Apple pulling back in for the first time. VWAP is going to be 222 and change. What I'd like to see is dip back into that price if we get a chance at it. NIO for what's next. It's now starting to hold the 450. I don't know if we'll get VWAP. You did have that one dip and rip if you wanted it. I'm going to sit on VWAP and see if we can pick that one up. And yeah, I do like Tesla still. But I was cautious at that 228. It's actually holding 228 back in. But we're at 19,000. If we lose 19,000, I'm still sitting at 226. There's no need for that. I don't think we're going to be able to get that again. Oh, and I know a lot of people mentioned Starbucks did that flat bottom break. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity. But it's actually right back above it. So thankfully, we didn't short Starbucks. That's a liquidity grab under big support for Starbucks. I like the V shape. I'm fortunate not to be trapped in this because I was looking at taking that last night. Suddenly it looks like a long like everything else if it can take out the top. I never want to get short when you're doing a V shape like this that Starbucks just did. It's about to go red to green.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right. So we have like not as many shares left. So we're pretty much out now. We'll hold that 10%. We have way less than 10% of Apple. Apple, we took probably an irresponsible amount of shares off the open there, but we really like that break. We really like the action that was happening there. We like the story with Huawei. And I've already said my piece for Apple that I thought Apple does get to. I mean, the last couple of days have not been nice for sure. I thought we could get to and break these highs in and around the Apple event and then sell off from there. So anyways, good coverage up there. We now have like, and I want to thank everybody in the chat, first of all. We have about 5% left of that one, and we have probably something similar, a little bit more though, on Tesla left. So Tesla 229 and change. Very, very kind words in the chat. Thank you very much. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe, man. And you can see it. It's just trading, right? I mean, this is trading. So Eli Lilly though, going the other way. So Eli Lilly right now down 2%, still continuing to flush here. GLP-1s not have had their day. They've had their day for sure. They've had their year. So don't be surprised if some of these winning stocks get hit a little bit here, as there's some nervous hands, right? And I think that's fine. That's what happens in these markets. So I would say Eli Lilly right now is getting close to a breaking spot of this 920. So I'd watch out for that. I mean, you break 920, maybe you get into 9. So I would watch out there. I don't think today.
You might get rotation,
you know. Yeah, a little bit of that. And the thing is too, they're not a huge dividend. We talked about some dividend plays. I think as rates start to cut down, those could be plays. Stock like Eli Lilly doesn't need money or anything like that, but it does affect the market as a whole. We're pulling back just a little bit. We've done nothing but. So right now we can afford to just relax a little bit here, as today is going to be a very, very big day. It's only 9:45. We're not going to rest though. We're still going to look at our names: Tesla, Amazon, Intel, Palantir, and the TQQs.
Yeah, what I like about the market is it's giving you opportunities, but I'm looking at Apple pull back in. So we did get a top on C3AI right in here. It bounced off to 220. Wait for it to calm down, put the first red candle in since the open, and I'm looking to short it back into VWAP. So if it breaks the high, I'm out. If it gets to VWAP, I'm out. But I'm watching over an Apple for this first dip right back into VWAP, and it just tagged it, not 222, but 222.80. So it's trying to hold back in on the back end. Like to see the buyers start to step back into this one. Nvidia doing something similar, but not at that 107 just yet. We're going to have some economic numbers throughout the day, but one of them is coming out right about now with Adara.
We're just going to get the first numbers of the day here, another round at 10 a.m. But right now, we're just getting the S&P Services and Composite PMI final prints here for the month of August. S&P Services PMI coming in here 54.6, so above expectations here, 54.1. S&P Global Services PMI final here at 55.7, above estimates 55.2. So both Global Composite and Services PMI final prints for August coming in above expectations. Bit of a tick higher here for the S&P 500. Also, just a note here with regards to Eli Lilly, there are a couple of different catalysts here. They did sign a global research deal with this Genetic Leap, this AI-based company. So research deal here for Eli Lilly could be explaining this move down. I'll let you guys know if I see anything else.
So I have no idea why I punched. I must have put the wrong price on Amazon, but we punched in there. So we are going to be long Amazon. I got out. Like we punched long there 177.50. I'm not really sure why. I think I must have put something at the wrong price right there. So we're just getting out. I don't necessarily want to buy this price. That's weird. I don't know how that would fill because it's coming back in right there on Amazon. I feel like that's a mistake. I don't know. I didn't think I put that price in, but okay. I just want to talk about it because I'm in it. But anyways, either way, to the upside there, Neil, it's Tesla. What a ripper there for Tesla. We are now $3 in the money over here on TSLA and loving life today, guys. So, we talked about we had a rough day there on Monday, but you got to battle back every single day, and that's what we continue to do and just get stronger and better every single day. We are much better today than we were a couple days ago. So, really into our spot here and really found comfort the way we're trading. So let's just keep on that. Again, Amazon, I'll have to find out. Honestly, I have no idea where that order came from. So Amazon right now, 177.50 upside move there. I might have put it on the wrong stock. So
just very quickly, I'm going to get to Apple. I canceled my bid on Apple when the number came, or right before the number came out. I got picked up on the way back in. But first things first, C3AI just bounced off 20, so I took some out there. I'm going to wait for VWAP at 19.5. At this point, it's an SSR name. Obviously, it's got a 23% short float. Well, it does. I shouldn't say obviously. Maybe you didn't know that. If we break out, forget about these wicks. If we take out these quarters again, I'm going to jump out. It just did a pretty big wick to regain the $20 level. So I want to respect how strong it is, despite my opinions on C3AI. It doesn't really matter what your opinion is. So Apple, I didn't get it on VWAP because, like I said, I canceled my bid when the number hit, figuring I didn't want to get swept up. I ended up getting 220 in front of 223 instead of in front of VWAP. So if we lose VWAP, I'm going to get out and just tag the 40s. We'd like to try to get this back to the upside. If you can get to 225, that's a big one. We did have that East. So Sharif was talking about this East stock. That's also halted. East trade, whatever it is, to the upside at 293. So watch out for that flyer. And then I forgot to mention, I did tweet this out this morning, that 650 was a big deal for FFIE. Yeah, couldn't get through. So no break on Faraday. It looks like it can't get through that 665 level. I was looking for that to be a pretty big breakout, but nothing doing on that one. So Apple, we're in. C3AI was working for the short, but I don't want to fight it if it takes out those highs. And Nvidia kind of in no man's land right now. So we're going to have to sit back and maybe chillax a bit here on Nvidia. Might need to just take out that 109. VWAP's nowhere close. So we're just going to have to play it by ear on NVDA.
Yeah, good couple trades over there. AI, Nvidia, we'll see what's going on there. Apple, I like that long. We're long Apple right now as well. We're long Tesla, and we did drop out of Amazon. That was a keystroke error. We did lose 10% of our day there because, again, my default's too high. But so we got out. That's why we panicked and got out. So not much of a hit there, but that does suck. We just bounced off 230. So, I mean, we want to still try to buy some VWAP here, but Tesla right now, huge move off that bottom, 227.75, right up there into 230. So we'll still hold on to it. We'll see what's happening. Apple, again, we've already gotten out a huge level there, up at 224. Let's put another out, up in and around 224. It seems like that's pretty good to get that, so we'll be happy if we do. Apple right now, upside again to 224. We'll see if we can get that. I'm not going to take the break of Tesla 230, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We had actually written down in the fight. I mean, it's not funny. It's nice when it happens. But we had written down here that if and when, I mean, here's the number one, the number one trade idea today here is 226.50. So it's on the sticky note. There's the long break. FSD in China, we like it. 232 could be resistance to the upside. We should test that. So, I mean, we mentioned that. So the fact that this is at 230.50 and right now it's a $4, Neil, winner right now on Tesla, it has more upside. But let's wait to see what happens now as we get above that 230. It's $4 on Tesla. It's $3.50 on Tesla. It's $1.50 right now, $5 in total holdings right now in this market. As it's not even ripping. I mean, I just think we got the right names. $4 right here on Tesla as it was posted on the sticky note. Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, congratulations. Well, Tesla 230, I'm not taking... I'm muted. I was,
sneeze. Yeah,
I got the mute button for the sneeze, but you can probably still hear it anyways. But look, I didn't take the break. I'm not chasing anything when we just lost 19,000, so I want to be a little bit careful with that, as I do think we could run under some pressure here. We did reverse the move yesterday, and I'm not thinking shorts in anything but the C3AI right now, and we're getting into VWAP for that. If we break 1975, I should say, and do not get to VWAP, I'm going to trail this out here as well. It's looking like it's starting to curl a little bit in the other direction for C3AI. And if it bounces and makes a bull flag, I want to cover this. Let's get to the desk with Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial. Also worth noting here, we just got another catalyst coming through in Eli Lilly within the last few minutes. Apparently, their once-weekly insulin shows non-inferior blood sugar reduction compared to the daily insulin. This is in long-term trials, so basically some positive results here for Eli Lilly's insulin drug as it starts to find a bit of a bottom here around that 920 area, guys.
Oh, let it snow. Randy, my guy.
Don't let it snow.
Tesla, we wrote down 226.50. So we bought 225s. Then we bought 226.50. It's at 230, Randy. So the bull today is going. And there it is, man. Yeah, I know. I mean, that was exactly what we wrote down on here, was that FSD in Europe, both in Europe and in China, obviously the thing.
That's been a big challenge for them. You got so many different countries and
Amazon going
laws and stuff. It's so good for them. Good to see.
It's great. We said that they're in bed now with China, so that is great as well. So there it goes, man. Tesla up to 230. Great trade here, 350 in the money. Apple continues to go, man. We get the price we wanted. Oh, my. Nice move there on Apple. It's too bad because we would be 3 for 3. I'm not even going to count this Amazon trade, but if you had held it, it was a good one. We had to get down, we'll count the trade, but down to 177, I think, would have been something there. VWAP now at 176.80, so that was a great trade to buy the dip. Again, I think it was a keystroke error getting in, but we are still right back up to the top now on Tesla, man. 350 in the money here, $2 in the money on Apple, and today we're up more today than we were yesterday. It's 950.
Yeah, that's the truth. And look, I'm out of Apple again. So it bounced off VWAP. It got right to the high of the day. So we'll take it station to station on Apple. I don't like what I'm seeing in Nvidia. While everything else seems to scream higher, I said I'm going to play Nvidia by ear because it's not at any of the levels that we're even remotely looking at. So there's Apple off the highs. I did get out of C3AI. I said I was feeling a little bit skittish about C3AI forming that bull flag. So if it couldn't break through that 1975, I was going to jump out of the trade. So the short did work, but trust me, That's actually a strong stock right now, even though it's down 12%. It's a nice SSR bounce for that name. Nvidia, if you're playing it by ear, it doesn't care about VWAP. It doesn't seem to care about that 107. But what it does seem like it's holding is afternoon range yesterday. 107.5 and then 109-ish. So if Nvidia loses 107.5, I'll probably be looking for some shorts. I didn't check AMD, but AMD looks maybe better. AMD can't even get green on the day. So I'm going to throw out Nvidia temporarily. And if the market's breaking out and AMD's not going with it, then on a curl of the market, that should be the one that I try to short. If it's red while everything else is green, I think that kind of speaks for itself for advanced micro devices. Still looking at some other names, obviously, but right now the focus is going to be on re-entry, potentially in AI. Apple, if it comes back into VWAP. AMD still could be a short, and I'm thinking Nvidia looks a little bit stronger, and I shouldn't be considering a fade here when it's stronger than advanced micro devices.
Yeah, we're going to tweet out the Tesla play here, but look for other plays as well. I haven't even called up Nvidia yet, and it was yesterday's absolute monster stock.
It's strong now.
Is strong all day. It feels like 107.50. I mean, another great spot. We saw those dip opportunities in the other strong name, Amazon. Well, there's a lot of strong names, but Amazon there today as well was a spot. So. All right, I just wanted to, so I was actually waiting at 230.75 there on Tesla. It only gets as high as 50s. So or maybe 60s. What does it say the high is? 230.55. So it only gets to 55 there. We are about off by about 20 cents, which is fine. But I'm thinking about getting out if it comes back up into that area. Not just because I think the market's going to stop. I don't. It's just such a good win right now, upside, and clearly. I mean, sometimes I can see clearly. Seems to be having. I might just get out. I might just get out around here. All right, let's get out like 30s. See, it just stopped again. It's clearly having some kind of issues there. Like I just canceled my order because I didn't want to get overfilled. That's how much I thought it was going up, and then it just completely stopped again right there at 230. So I don't want to really be too shy about this. We don't have a huge percentage, but again, with the amount of shares that we had initially, this is still a part that will put us nicely. So we'll try to get it out right here, 230, 30s, maybe even just 230. Ring the register on 350. That's something there. I'd hate to look back and it's at that 232, but if it is, it is. And good on everybody for holding that. So yeah, so far so good here. I think we'll probably just, now, you know what, now I'm going to get it out at 230 if we're lucky enough to do that. One more little bump up. I think we'll take it. Be happy with that fill and move on. I mean, it's absolutely running right now. This is a hot dog cannon of a trade. Apple just continues, guys. This is going to be quite the move. It's too bad. The amount of shares that we had here, if we had still held them, that would be great. But we still got a piece, and sometimes that's what you need. We talked about having a chip in a chair, and Apple right now, $2.50. So right now we're $6 in the money. I mean, remember we talk about that as the market. We were $4 in the money. Now we're $6 in the money. We're talking about Tesla and another one. Apple. But there it is right there. Tesla comes out. That's enough. Only two. There's Tesla right there at 230. Man, oh man, that's 350 right there on the posted trade of the day. Go find it at Trader TV Sean on the sticky note. Apple still $3 now in the money. So. Only three trades for me today, but two real trades, Apple and Tesla, and it's one of those days again, guys.
It's one of them days. It starts with it ends with a Y, I should say.
Man.
I said I'm not going to short over an Nvidia, change of plan for that one. When it bucked off the top, I said I'll go over to AMD because I want to play relative weakness. It's running the highs. It just double tapped this high in here. So I'm short 50s into the high. If it breaks the high, I'm jumping away from it as Nvidia's about to break 109 as well. So if we break the high on AMD, it's going red to green. I don't mind being a joiner, but until it's strong, I don't want it. Nvidia is about to break its high of the day at 109. I think Nvidia is looking a little bit stronger. That's just my opinion. We'll see what happens here. It's at 93, 95. It's about to make the break any second now on Nvidia. So AMD just came out before Nvidia makes its break. I like a 109 break to 109.5 and then 110, as you can see yesterday's highs. That's why we're zoomed out on it. But Nvidia forming a double top, the market's breaking out. We thought maybe you'd see 100 on Nvidia at one point this morning. You're getting the exact opposite. course, as usual, when I look at a break, it doesn't make the break. So I'm going to have the order out there. We'll see if Nvidia makes this break at the 109. Hasn't happened just yet. Should happen any second now. Rather be a joiner at this point if we're going to make a break here. We got happening now in economic numbers, but hopefully we'll make that break in the next few seconds before the number. Adara.
Bring in some ISM numbers. Should have these coming in just about 20 seconds here. ISM Services PMI for the month of August, chief among them. Consensus here of 51.1, forecast of 51.2, previous print of 51.4. Just to recap, at 9:45, we got higher than expected S&P Global Composite and Services PMI for the final print for August. Let's see what we get here with ISM in just a moment here. This coming on in 50.2 here for the ISM Services employment. So that's below the previous number here of 51. In terms of ISM Services PMI, slightly higher than expected, 51.5 versus that forecast here of 51.2. Business activity slightly below the forecast, 53.3 versus 54 expected. New orders, 53, so above the forecast here, 52.2. Services price is also higher, 57.3 versus the forecast of 56.7. Just to recap the main number here, ISM Services PMI August slightly above estimates, 51.5 versus the forecast 51.2, and echoing what we saw with higher than expected S&P Global numbers as well. S&P 500 itself continuing higher here, holding some nice support at that 549.50 area. Tomorrow should be another interesting day for economic data because we will be getting unemployment and non-farm payrolls at 8:30 a.m. In terms of the stocks moving today, in addition to the entire market, some of these Mag 7 names, we have names like JetBlue, JBLU, raising their revenue growth forecast here for Q3 2024. We also have C3AI, still down about 12%, trading higher here. They did beat across the board, but they had a little bit weaker than expected here. Revenue forecast for fiscal 2025. They also missed estimates for one of their services revenue. So interesting note here for AI, guys.
Tesla 231. I mean, again, props it up to everybody, man. We said 226.50 break, possibly gets it to 232. I mean, Neil, I don't think we could call it any better. Right there, that right there, 650 for that trade on Tesla. We got out at 230. We weren't sure about that. We're pretty happy with it, but wow, that really worked out there today. Tesla, trade stuff that's strong, trade things with catalysts, and trade off the sticky note. I mean, good note there today. Amazon even 179. I mean, the trade that we had and we got out of is now. Where
everything is looking way higher.
Absolutely everything, I'm sure.
19.1.
Printing here.
Like Nvidia actually tagged the $0.50 on that. On the number came out, it flashed it up and down. I had the long. We got about 50 pennies on it. Then it came right back in, smashed on the number coming at the same time. I jumped right back on the bid the way back up after we got the release. It's going to have to wait for it to come back and see if we can pick it back up. Look, the market's flying to the upside at this point. The Nasdaq's 19.1, so we're not going to get the Brecher ledge that we talked about breaking in the afternoon show. It's about where to try to join again. So there is, I mean, VWAP is going to be a thing of the past at this point for a lot of stocks. So when you're asking what's next, I'm going to start looking at trends because they've started to form. So you got VWAP, you have a bit of a double bottom here. It's a very, very steep trend on Apple. Not going to bother drawing on that one. I think it's a little bit too much. Nvidia in here is going to have a little bit more of a reasonable general trend. If we break the trend line, we get off the bid here because we wanted that right away when the number came. If you lose this trend on Nvidia, then I back off to support. If you hold the trend line, want to look for a consolidation above and then a re-entry up top, I'm going to double check to see what's going on over in Rivian, because if Tesla's doing this and Rivian is not looking strong, yeah, Rivian doesn't look strong at all. There's not going to be a breakout on Rivian. I'm on the bid of NIO. Just everybody, I haven't forgotten about NIO. You saw what has happened in all the big cap tech names. So for a minute, NIO was not going to be it's just not going to be the priority. It's holding on to VWAP. If it trends up, I'm now sitting at VWAP just to join this long into the upside. We didn't want to take the break. We said look for a dip buy. We're going to try and grab the higher low here on NIO. All right, Apple's starting to come off that 225. We're looking for a chance to be able to buy the dip again. I don't have VWAP in my sights. I got to look more towards that previous top at 224 as it's starting to lose 225 even.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get out at 225 and a quarter right now. You know what? Now we'll cancel that. We'll just wait on it. See if it wants to continue to go a little bit higher. We only have the one trade on right now. We really liked Amazon today. I mean, this was another one of those names here that we had put up on our note one more time today. And so I just want to review it to see what else we had on there. But right now we had Amazon long 172 with a dip into 174. It gets as low as 174.50, I think. But a huge move up there. Palantir, let's go look at that for a short near 31, and then Intel with a short near 20. So we can look at that. The TQs, we were like, hey man, if it breaks the bottom, we want to go short, but that did not even come close. Still $3 in the money over there.
Intel's getting close. It's not there yet, though.
Okay, so we'll have a quick look because I had a little bit of a different level. 30.66 right now for Palantir. We wrote down 30.75. That came to 73. We would not be filled, but that was a good call, it looks like. Anyways, for now, INTC, let's see where we're at right here. Yes, so we like 75. So that was the level that we wrote down here for Intel. So let's just try it. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a piece. There it is. Okay, well, it gives us some at 79. So right there, we are going to try to go short. This was a very, very spur of the moment thing here because it was a level that we had liked. So right there, the high so far is 85s, 83s. So we'll put on a small piece here. Now we can actually look at this 85, the high for Intel, trying to give this one a little bit of room. You can see here, it's just, okay, so already breached the 50 period. So yeah, so that's, yeah, probably a switch up there and maybe think about a long. We sort of broke that trend line. You see, we just followed it all the way down and now broke it back up. So that little level right there is actually, yeah, 1985. Good year, I guess. But we'll have to see. That's going to be where we'll wait to see what happens on this trade.
Jays won the pennant in 1985. It was a good year, but they didn't go all the way. Kansas City Royals, maybe.
92,
Kansas City Royals, I think, won that year. You just said trend line, so I'm looking to get back in. I liked AI for shorts, but it was short the pops on a squeeze name, which makes it a little bit dangerous at times. You want confirmation. So I got a bit of a trend after I got out. So I got out when it double-barreled, held 1975. It's been holding the line. If it breaks this trend, close beneath, I'm looking to go short that. I had 20 for Intel, and man, it is, I mean, the market's at 19.1. So it might get to that $20 level. We got to be patient and just sort of let it get there. So AI, I'm looking to jump into that short if we can get it. Not a guarantee. Nvidia's now starting to form. There it goes. Now you've actually got a higher low on Nvidia. You just want more data points. So it looks like it's holding 109 for that higher low. All right, C3AI is now going to be the moment. Nope. Okay, C3AI is trying to hold on to strength. It's kind of, you're threading a needle for it to break a trend line into the downside on C3AI. So I keep looking over, and it's actually going higher. So good thing we're not already in it. Nvidia now holding this trend. Guess I'm going to like it back 109 if we get a chance at that. If it breaks the trend line, wait for VWAP. If it holds the trend, play it to the top.
Everybody, we absolutely nailed Tesla. Congratulations to everybody out there. Congratulations to the guys behind us. Tesla's by far the #1 name here today. And it just continues to keep going. Look at this. We wrote down 232, sorry, that was a possibility today on that break. Possibility, yeah, it was a possibility for sure. It ran that over right there, 232. But here's our longs, 225 long. So that's $9. 226.50 as it was written right there. Nicely done in the money there. Apple, I think we're starting to agree here that 225 might be something there on Apple. Let's wait to see on that one. We can't just, I mean, we can keep on talking about the same names, but they're all doing the same thing, going higher right now. A little bit of a pullback. We do know that we faded Nvidia yesterday, and I believe it was around here. This was the biggest trade for me yesterday, just the way it based out there, and it was at this 109.50. So we do admittedly miss this trade right here today, for sure. This is a missed trade on Nvidia. This just went up into that high again where we shorted and made a decent trading there yesterday on that move. So yeah, we have to relook at that one. There goes Intel. So we'll fail on that one, man. We will lose 3 cents on Intel breaking above 85s. So a 3 cent hit right there. It's looking like it was about 7% of what we made there on Apple, and we're still holding Apple, so more than that. All right, what's up, Adara?
Applied Digital gaining volume here as it's trying to break a new high of day. APLD, this one announcing $160 million strategic funding round. Nvidia, one of the investors involved. This was reported by the Wall Street Journal. Then Applied Digital confirmed it and announced it about half an hour later. So APLD on watch here. This one is a small cap, under $1 billion market cap, and is 16% short float, guys.
Short float and a deal with Nvidia, that actually looks somewhat appealing. But, we got other fish that we're frying. AI did finally lose the trend at least a little bit in here. So you're closing this next candle underneath. Looks like we're going to try for a VWAP retracement. $20 is a big psychological level. Obviously, it had a bid at $19.75. So those are the first two places to look, in addition to $2.2025. So the quarter level was big, $20. And then $19.75 on C3AI is where we're going to look for this pullback. We've been short this one twice and able to sort of get away with it as it's been, it's doing a pretty big move to the upside. 11% now, but remember, this stock was down 20 points. So it is a relief rally here, maybe a dead cat bounce on C3AI. We are now shorted. Nvidia does not hold its trend line. So anyways, I had it drawn before. It held. If it broke, I'm getting out of it. So I got out when it broke that trend. But it's AI that I wanted short. So it's AI that we ended up taking. Maybe Nvidia is a good one as well. But I was looking for this one to the south side. Intel is not going to 20, it doesn't seem. It looked like it was going to get there. Went to 19.9, it looks like, and then already starting to pull back. So I am favoring the short in this range. It's just not quite at the top yet. Maybe I go for a trend break as well on Intel, because I am looking to fade at this point. Like if Intel's going to pull back, I had it short early, and we want to short it late as well into this move. So I'll probably look to join this trend and see if we can't pull back on Intel as well.
Yeah, so Intel was our last trade. We talked about that. We were short, again, decent amount of shares up there, but it does break through that 85, and we got out on that top. So I just reshorted a little bit more there at 82 in case that is the failed top there at 90. There it is. Take some more profit on that one as we'll make a little bit back here. We did slap the fail when we lost. So now that we're in the money 5 cents, we'll throw it back, hopefully, and make this back here. It's still crazy. Like we get stopped out there by a couple pennies, but that is trading. Let's put some bids now down here and just take out a little bit more on Intel as we pull back. We'll see if we can get a 75 or so on that one. Apple pulling back, everything's starting to come back just a little bit there. Good out on Tesla at 230, but 234 or so was the high. Intel, there it is. Yes, sir. A little bit of money right there coming in on that one. We'll drop it down for Intel. Oh, there it goes. Let's go. We're waiting also. And we get a 73. So bang on Tesla, on Intel right now as that comes back in. We did get stopped out. We talked about that, but we're back in that name. What's up, Adara?
Speaking of Microsoft here, this report from the information came out around 10 a.m., circulating a lot around social media as well. The information reporting that OpenAI is apparently considering some higher price subscriptions for its chatbot AI, including a potential $2,000 a month subscription, though the sources are saying it's likely not going to be what they go with. Just keep Microsoft in mind here as we have OpenAI mulling over some more expensive chatbot AI subscriptions, guys.
God, so...
Well, it's going down now.
We just reviewed Palantir. 30.75 short sell on Palantir is what we had wrote down. And it was up here, it was at $30.65 or something. And I was like, nah, let's see. That's $30.73. So beautiful pushback right off our level again. And it's like, I don't know if Adam's here today or not. I haven't really been paying too much attention to the chat. I got a little something going on here. But at the end of the day, it's the levels, right? And so that's what it is. We'll figure this out here with Palantir. Good level. We're definitely seeing the board correct today, and it's been a good one. So let's just continue the love here, continue the love on the show as Intel, again, trying to push a little bit lower. We already got a 73. I feel like mid-60s would sort of be the next level there, but I'm not really feeling like the market's coming in too much now. I mean, it's coming in, but I'm pretty still bullish on this. Right, it has to talk to 19,000, it looks like. 19,040 right now. Looking at 19,000 would be sort of that ledge and where the 50 period is, so good.
Yeah, and speaking of ledge, it's a ledge, but it's a high one. It's kind of like a high diving board right now, the way the market is going. So it could flush fast if we lose that 19, but it just caught a bit of a bid. I got some out of C3AI, and again, you're threading a needle because the stock's been going up, and it just bounced off that quarter level. So I went to the bid at the 2020. I'm going to sit there. If it regains the high, I jump out. No questions asked on that one. Do not want to be fighting it. Apple is doing a pretty good job of not getting to VWAP. So you can like VWAP as a level, but it just held on at 224 in there. If it just goes sideways off 224, then I think that's what I have to respect. You're above the 50 period on the daily, and you're trend up. And this is the last time we were at this price area. Just go back a couple of days. It was a big resistance right off the opening range, about 224.5. So I feel like it's at a pretty good decision spot. 224 looks pretty solid in here. You can like VWAP, like I said, all you want, but it's just a line on a chart. If buyers come in at a different price and you want to join the trend, you have to be willing to buy where they are, not where you want it to go. And it looks like 24 is that.
All right. Good job on all of that. Yeah, look, AI. I mean, I haven't traded any earnings names today. Obviously, that's going to be the biggest one. There was also HPE. There was also NIO that we looked at.
HPE was a bit of a nothing bird.
That's hilarious. The last time I looked at this, it was, yeah, okay, it's still right here, 444. So, yeah, that's funny. All right, so not much of a movement there at all. 232.50. All right, I mean, we're at this level right now for Tesla. Let's see if it is a push down. All right, we're 10 cents in the money right now. Okay, let's go. Intel right now. Coming back into the downside. I might take a 70, Phil. What? There's something really, there might, okay, did we get a bug there? No, I don't know if there's a bug here or not. Like, I thought I just pushed bid there and it came out at like $100.
For the record, just Sean's kind of beta testing, right? He's on a version that is
more than beta, but it's so far so good. I don't really have anything really to complain about, but I tried to put something out there. It got filled anyway. 68's right there. So let's go, man. We slapped a fail on it when it doesn't work, but we go money bag yo when it does. So there it comes in. It's 15 cents for us on Intel. It's $2 for us on Apple. We're now into Neo and AI over there. So let's wait to see if that can work out. But so far,
well, maybe we should have left Neo alone.
Should we have?
I just got to VWAP on Neo, and if I'd had it earlier, it already gave it to you twice. And sometimes the third time at the same level isn't a charm because it's more obvious to everybody. But it just held on to 440, which I creatively put my stop underneath the even level. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. But I just picked up 444s. The high of the day is 54, so it needs to break into 48, 49 for a first take, and then up into the high of the day. So NIO, I don't really know what the other ADRs are doing. I haven't looked at BABA or whatnot, but we're in this because it had earnings and it's holding the upper end of the range. Like that's it. Like it dipped, it held previous highs, it's making higher lows. If we lose 440, I'm out. Thankfully, C3AI decided to join the selling a little bit more, but remember, this is a strong stock. Like both these trades have threaded the needle, but they are against the grain. It is trending up, even though it's down 12%, was just able to get filled there at 2020. Now I'm looking for VWAP in here at 1975. That's where the bid came in before. I'm not just gonna reload this in the ether. The first time I let it make a top, and once it had made that top, I looked to get in, right? Like it made a top that was defined, and I looked to get into it. The next one was on a trend line break. After that, I don't have an obvious level on C3AI. Okay, so Apple, I guess we didn't get filled on Apple, putting it back in there, just kind of sticking to the same names. Apple's already bounced away from 224, so no fill underneath the 24 level yet on Apple. You can see the consolidation. Try to give it one chance to push back underneath. It hasn't done so. I don't know that I want to chase this one. We want to get good prices when we're on these names. Price is your everything when it comes to trading. So I don't want to be chasing this 40, 50 cents at 10:15. Early in the morning, when it's got bigger moves for it, like that $5, $6, that's different. You chase it 20 cents, not a big deal. But when you're expecting the move to be 70, 80 cents to $1 to the high, you got to pull back just a little bit.
Okay, so now you want to pay attention to this, everybody. This is actually a game changer for stocks.
You can get funds to trade stocks and don't even have to be a professional trader. Anybody can join, Sean.
That's amazing. Trade the Pool is a prop firm that funds stock traders worldwide. No more risking your own money and no more PDT rule. You can even get You can even get funded with up to $260,000 worth of buying power, Neil.
You trade real shares. You can short any penny stocks, including Mullen, and you don't trade alone. You can trade with other traders in the Trade the Pool community on Discord. Search for tradethepool.com. You'll be able to find all the information you need. Check that QR code below. I wish there was something like this, Sean, when we started trading. It's absolutely amazing. And maybe we should get the backwards hat going so we can be as cool as well, get tatted up.
You can wear those glasses. Yeah, no, you want to be.
Got to be cool.
I mean, that's the thing about prop trading. Make sure you check out tradethepool.com there. It's completely different, right? I mean, we sit here on prop as well. Make sure you scan that QR code below to grab your 10% off as well. So I think that's very, very important. But there it is, man. You guys have been asking for a prop firm that you guys could also join. We've done it for you. There it is. It's Trade the Pool. Go check them out right now. All right. Well, it's 10:20. Thank you so much for everything today. Thank you for the support. I mean, thank you for trusting some of the plays, that they've written down here. Some days they'll work, some days they won't, but today they definitely did. So we want to thank everybody for continuously supporting the stream as well, man. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it, tell all your friends about it, talk about it at the dinner table, invest all of your time and energy in getting better as a trader. And I think if you're watching the show, hopefully you're seeing us get better every day as well, learning from us. And today we actually have a lesson again every single day on the midday show at 11 o'clock. If you're a beginning trader and you're starting the prop, Fabian, I got you, my guy. I'm saying, Fabian talking to me an essay in my ear right now when I'm trying to promote the stream.
He's got a lot to say.
Yeah. Shout out to Fabian there as well. But honestly, check out our midday stream at 11 o'clock with Adara and Sharif. And now, Fabian, we will go to the big screen with Adara.
Definitely less directional here for the IWM than what we're seeing with the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. Basically continuing to top and churn throughout the day, slightly positive right now for the Russell 2000. Quite a few small cap runners to talk about, including Hoth Therapeutics, HOTH. This one's still up about 80%, though not near its highs of the day. Announcing positive results for the test of one of its patients here for its skin toxicity treatment. Under $10 million market cap, so about $8.5 million market cap for HOTH. We also have here WHLR. This is Wheeler Investment Fund. This is a REIT here, so this is in the real estate space. Up over 100%. No catalyst that I was seeing, but we have about 550,000 share float for this. What about $1 million market cap and about 1 million shares for WHLR? 500,000 shares, $1 million market cap. Last but not least, here we have Eastside Distilling, EAST. This one's still up about over 200% right now, kind of chopping and churning. And I'm seeing this merger deal here with Beeline Financial Holdings. So good look here for EAST, guys.
Beeline, take a beeline for that. Why did we just
the East Stains Massive?
What is that from?
You're wearing, wait a minute, isn't that the Ali G?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're wearing the Ali G outfit.
Okay, I should have known that then. That's funny.
That's his, I don't even know where Staines is in England. Maybe it's like a town or something, but that's just Ali G back in the day. East Stains Massive.
Ali G. I mean, I so much prefer that guy as that character than Borat. I thought Borat lost its way a little bit there near the end. But anyways.
When he interviews, like he interviewed Newt Gingrich.
Yes.
Big ups to my main man, Newt Gingrich. Like, he's just the guy
nobody
kills
knew
it.
about him as much.
Nobody knew him. Now everyone knows him. It's not the same thing. He got too famous for himself.
Cohen.
Absolute legend. This East stock, I don't know if it's legendary, but it needs to break $3. So there you go. It's a high flyer. I don't want to say we're ignoring it, but it already failed once, maybe even twice at the $3 level. If it gets through 3, I think this one can absolutely fly. But it's kind of a blue sky setup for those types of names, always, because when it is what it is. When you have charts that are nothing, when you break those highs, you have nowhere to go. So Neo did bounce off VWAP the third time, but it can't seem to get to the high of the day. It's really slow. And I'm going to show you, I said I hadn't looked at any of the Chinese ADRs. I'm just very quickly going to throw up Alibaba. Baba, with the market absolutely flying, can't go anywhere. So I don't love the fact all it did is fail a break at the open and now can't go anywhere up. I think that could be a little bit of a problem for NIOs is trying to rally. As Baba, I usually use it as a litmus test for the entire Chinese market, which is probably overly aggressive, but it can't go, and the market's going. So NIO will have to take it station to station. If it never breaks a high, then we just take the 10 cents to the high of the day.
Yeah, man. I mean, whatever. 10 cents on NIO is nice. Okay, Mara, 14. Mara's still here. So, yeah, we were watching Bitcoin here. Just broke above 57,000. So not just broke, but is now above 57,000. Nice drop out there, 14.6. I mean, you're kind of picking at straws or drawing at straws here because I don't know what level exactly is going to hold downside on Mara, but you're at 1460. Looking to break lower through 1430. I mean, if you're going to really nitpick, it's like 14 and a quarter, that little wick down. I don't really ever want to use August 5th lows until we actually get there, but like that's 1350. So that's a ways away from now. And again, that was a panic sell. We know, Japan and all that, the unwind and, I'm just hearing like that Tesla's up 7% right now.
Did you hear the guy? He's like up
$10
up, and then he had no idea what to say.
Yeah, $10 now in the money on
the Benzinga guy.
Yeah, the Benzinga guy. Wow. You know what's even more impressive? It's not more impressive. It's just we had way more shares of Apple. Apple's now Sharif, as I know this, because Sharif is an Apple shareholder, I believe.
Yes, sir. Hold on.
Apple right now. It's up. We're $3 in the money. Apple right now is at 226, 225.50. Let's see if it continues to hold. It's going to be a good one here as the Nasdaq. And I said today, I was like, yeah, when the Nasdaq was down 0.34, I was like, maybe we get to that down 1%. Flip it around, flush that opinion down the toilet right now as Apple leads the market. Tesla, my tailbone is still so bad. Tesla leads the market. Huge upside now, up that 1%. Right now, and that's very, very important to see these kind of stocks hold, right? I mean, it's been sort of the Nvidia. I haven't even looked at Nvidia today, so my bad on that one. What a 50-period hold. We talked about that yesterday. It held the 50-period to the downside. Now it's holding it long. Looks like this could break that 109.50. I mean, this was that short that we had yesterday. It's just today's a completely different beast altogether, man. Yesterday, we were underneath VWAP. We were bouncing off of here a couple times. I'm not sure it's worth too much to short this against that level. But if you are going to be short, you got to get out if it breaks like this 109.70 or 80 level. I'll think about it. I mean, Apple's just so strong. And we only have 15% left of Intel. It looks like it's trying to take that level again, 90s. I'll put on a little bit here, but not a lot for Intel. We'll just take that short if we can. Tesla 235. I mean, we thought 232 was the high. 235 ripping right now for Tesla. I don't really see a short level here. I mean, I don't want to. This is how we lost on Monday, right? We didn't believe that the long was going to keep on missing, and it did, and to the point where we lost, on pretty much everything. So right now, I don't necessarily want to fight this trend. I'll pick on a weak name, and it's not weak at all today, but I'll pick on Intel just because it's at these levels. But if Intel breaks 90s, then we are out of this trade, man. We'll take another 5-cent hit on this name. We made some back. Looks like we're giving some more back right now as both of us actually.
Well, but I just got in, so definitely give some back if it takes out a fresh high. You know what? It's not even at $20, man. It's at $19.90 as a local high. I'm zooming out because this is where I was short every time yesterday. And when the market's this strong, if it takes out the high, I'm punching out and we'll wait for another entry. But the reality is when the market is strong, if you want to short a name, you've got to be patient. So I think waiting for 20, I'm in it now, and if it breaks 1990, I'm just going to jump out. But you got to be patient. And what I mean by that is allow it to get to somewhere, show you a top, then take your shot at it. Allow it to get to somewhere, show you a top. This was a trend line break on AI. It doesn't get to VWAP, but at least we were waiting around for that one. Neo looks like I'm on the offer. Oh, yeah, right. What am I sitting on? EdgeX probably? Let me just.
Neo? Yeah.
NASDAQ.
I always go on the free ones, man, just because
NASDAQ.
You get those sort of like.
I was on NASDAQ.
Yeah.
No, but Neo.
Fine.
Look, see, Neo can't break the high of the day, so 44. The high is 54, and now it's at 52. I'm just going to sit on the offer there. It doesn't want to go, but I think the level of concern would be if a stock in this market is pressing the high and you're short. So right now, my focus is if I get wicked out or if I get punched out of Intel and it breaks into the 20 level, it was 20.05 yesterday were the shorts actually came in. That's the level that I should be waiting for here on Intel. What do we have? Hash is saying short FDX. Look at FedEx. I don't mind. I mean, I have a stop order on Intel, so it's not like it can get past that level without me getting out. So FedEx here. I don't know why we're shorting FedEx, because it doesn't do a lot of volume, but we don't mind looking at any chart. Relatively weak. Answer yes. Volume not very good. Trend looks good on the daily chart. They get markets up and it's down, so that's a good thing for a short. And it's at the lows, but it's done 250,000 volume. So I have nothing against looking at any name, but 250,000 shares worth of volume on a $287 name is a no-fly zone. Swing trading mostly, I think, if you're trading something like this. That's not very liquid at all here on FedEx, but you're right. It's relatively weak. When tech gets that rotation back into it, sometimes these names take it on the chin. I bet you JP Morgan, actually I shouldn't say that.
Some of the banks, actually I didn't even.
Yeah, the banks are relatively weak today because they've been, when everyone was running to the hills, these were running to the upside. JP Morgan could have 3 days in a row to the downside. Wow. The last time it did this, the fourth day was a screaming buy, just for the record. Every time it's been like down for a few days, down for a few days, screaming buy. This was only 2. This was like 4 days, but then everything rallied. JP could get interesting back into 217 here.
What's getting interesting right now is making a little bit more of this one, and we'll just talk about it because it's Intel. Both of us short this name. We just shorted some more of it right there at 1985s. We talked about that being a good year.
Dave Steeb should have won the Cy Young.
Yes, exactly, Dave Steeb. Probably, I like Roger Clemens. I mean, Jimmy Key also as a Blue Jay there. Remember Todd Stoudemire? I mean, of course.
I love Todd Stoudemire.
Yeah, his dad was also a coach. Mel Stoudemire as well there.
Todd Stoudemire had the greatest speech at the parade.
Throwing to your boy Pat Borders there behind the plate there. World Series MVP, I might add you, Patrick Borders. And we have, I'll get that little, I don't know where the guy is there. I have a troll here from the 92-93 World Series. You have to go find that one. But without any further ado, someone who does, I don't know, we haven't really talked to Adara about baseball. We'll throw it over to Adara, but I want her to answer if she's been to any Blue Jay games this year or what her opinion is on Major League Baseball.
I've been to a couple Blue Jays games, none this year. I'm more of a CFL person. In terms of crypto, though, we have a bit of a level trying to form here at this 57,000, holding on to this level. Yesterday was a pretty interesting candle. I actually ended up looking pretty bullish here with that move down below 56,000 before recovering back above 57,000. Generally, though, we're seeing a bit of a tighter range for the last week or so as we kind of curl below that 60,000 level further and further. We'll have to see if Bitcoin's able to break above that key level. We do have BTC right now slightly holding on to that 57,000. Ethereum waffling kind of on the edge here between positive and negative, almost flat here and trying to hold on to 2,400. Lots of strength, though, in some of these other names actually compared to Ethereum and BTC. Solana up 3%, Dogecoin up almost 3%, Cardano up more than 5%. So some strength in these other names, but BTC and ETH a bit more muted today, guys.
Yeah, I was just looking at Mara, and I'll get to that in a quick second because you're right in that they're muted. When the market's this strong, you'd like to see Bitcoin join. So C3AI, our first short was at the quarter level. Last time we got it off the 50 level in here. We got 45s. Now it's into VWAP. So this is exactly where it bounced last time, 1975. If it bounces again, I have a trail at 20 that I'm likely to move into the 1990 range. So I want to make sure we're tightening it up. But it's at 20 for now. If we get to VWAP, I'm going to tighten that one up. If C3AI decides to bounce, I'm not looking to gift horse in the mouth. We're able to short this one twice into the upside move in the market, and we've been able to hold on. Now, remember, Sharif said it this morning, it wasn't like it was a ridiculously bad report. I think it was like some kind of their subscriber number or whatever was not up to expectations. So it is screaming, in a sense, to the upside, down that 13% on C3AI. And then Intel caught a little bit of a bid again. So it made a higher low at 1980. I don't know how much I like the reload up here. Like, it double tapped the top, and all it is higher lows going into. So thankfully, we're able to get it back on Intel. but I was short early and lost on Intel, so I just got green because of the last trade. I don't want to reload this a third time. Unless it's at the $20 level, we'll back away from Intel this time through. NEO's still pretty much in the same spot. It's trying to break the high of the day. It hasn't done it, and I promised I would look at Mara at the low of the day when the market's at the high. Bitcoin's at 57,000, which isn't all bad. Mara hasn't had a green day in a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks, and it's looking rather heavy. If it doesn't bounce here, I got to be looking for some kind of consolidation short, especially if there's a move down in Bitcoin. I'm going to keep IBIT up and look for some kind of an entry in Mara. Down 2% when the market's flying, when Bitcoin's not doing anything all that bad. Not a good look for Mara at all.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking. My wife's getting season tickets here for the hockey, so yeah, PWHL. So it looks like she got some good seats. All right, so yeah, I mean, good call there on Mara. You know, we had looked at that one earlier. I still like that bottom there, but it's coming up to a key level. Intel has maybe a potential chaser on it. I don't know. We'll wait to see. It's not that it's. Wait a minute, what day is this today? Monday was off. Tuesday, we weren't down 10%. No, this is not short sell restricted. No, there's an end there. Right, duh, we have it in our software. I was like thinking, no. Okay, so that level just gets wiped out. Obviously, that was only 50,000 shares, so was nothing. I just want to go over to it just in case it kept pushing it down. And if I ever see something like that, I'm going to try to show it to you because we have access to live level 2 data. And if there's something that I see sort of on here, same thing with Neil, that is a little unique, we'll try to get that to you so you can get an idea of sort of what's been happening in the market and some of the market dynamics that are sometimes at play where you get big orders chasing names down. Like there's only 50,000. That's a planted order. I think you just got taken out in one shot there. Remember, we're getting out just to make sure if this breaks. I don't even have my stop in. Oh gosh. 19, what is the high? 91s. All right, we'll just do that. We'll get out of 100% of this. We only have, we got some outs down here at 80s. So those were fine. We are waiting for the 50-period moving average, which is 78, 79. So, we need this to get down a little bit in order to make this trade work. I mean, take 5 cents, lose 5 cents. That's fine. But at the end of the day, kind of wasting my time. But, I don't know. You don't know the trade until it's over. So I don't want to say
exactly.
I don't want to say it was wasting my time. I mean, I thought it was a good opportunity.
There was I forget who said it, but it was on the show, and I remember it was like, okay, well, it's not doing anything right now, whatever the stock is. And then the question was, yeah, but has it broken? You're out? Right. And the answer is no. So then it's still valid. It could go, if it goes sideways when the market's flying, then it has a good chance to obviously come back in. So as long as it doesn't run the stop, I think I'm okay.
I find the problem, yeah, go ahead.
No, the other thing I would say is that 50,000, I saw when it got filled, and the one you were talking about in the offer, I saw someone pop 50,000 2 cents higher right after the other one filled. So there's somebody selling at this level.
Layering into this, or they were long off.
And they're getting out off the highs.
Bad days. I was just going to say, yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you don't want to let a stock off its hook. I mean, Sharif talks about that all the time, and it's a good thing we didn't because now we're 2 cents in the money. Amazing. But what I sort of meant there is that I find Intel, I feel like we always have good calls on it, but I find it hard to trade because I want to put in like an irresponsible amount of shares because it doesn't really move.
It's better at lunch than it is in the morning.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, I mean, that's something. And it's just like, for me to say, wow, I just made 10 cents, like it's good. But if you have 500 shares, that's great too. That's $50. So you'll take that. But then it's like you still have 500 shares is still enough that you don't want it to breach your level. And then sometimes it just finds like $50 there, $50. And sometimes you just get whipped around. And at the end of the day, you look back and it's like you didn't really make as much as you could have potentially looking elsewhere. But again, that's your own risk management, right? I mean, every trade has amazing opportunities. It's just a matter of finding them and being able to trust what you did yesterday. And right there on Nvidia, if we just took that same trade yesterday, we'd be about $1 in the money, 109.50. So, I mean, that came up yesterday. This was our best trading on this name was here yesterday. I'm going to just go over here and show you just real quickly on my profile because I'm sure there's some Nvidia trades. There it is right there from yesterday. So this is that huge move down. I mean, believe it or not, if you guys were here yesterday, you saw this. Here's the proof. There's 109. We took it a bunch of times, 109.50, and there's the cover. This is at 230 at 107. It got lower than this, and we took profits here on Nvidia like 105 and change yesterday to take $4 near the end of the day. There it is right here. So there's the drop down. We're short here yesterday. There's the drop down, and we just showed you that that was our idea. And we didn't take it today because I told you the winds had changed, right? The market was nicely up today, and I just did not want to fight that and talk about fighting something. We are almost stopped out of Intel, which will be our only red name today. We'll be red on Amazon, which is crazy. That's because I panicked and punched out of that one because we were in that one incorrectly. I guess I must execute on the wrong level too. So we're in and out of that one. That's a cup of coffee. At the end of the day, though, man, it's Apple still $3 and still going higher, and Nvidia possibly at the 50 period where we might want to reload it. So some things I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it looks like NEO finally got off the shine and broke. I said no breakout trades on NIO today, only dip buys, and I think we might get a chance at another one. So it just took out the high. The trend is now, it's reestablished a new trend. So forget about, a lot of times I'll do something like this. It made that bottom, and then I want to see it hold that trend. But once you hold on to VWAP and break the top, I'm going to look at something that it's starting to form like this. It hasn't really done it yet, but you get an idea. Now that it's broken the high, I'm going to look for a new trend line up top and see what it tries to hold on to. I'm going to give it to at least 470 before I start thinking about, where is this going to be a curl? $5 is an obvious spot. If it gets to $5, my thought is short on NIO because $5 has been a gargantuan problem for this stock for a long time. So if it gets to $5, I'm thinking short. On NIO, let's see what's going on in the world of, I don't know, say oil in Sector Watch.
Oil's actually really flat today, as is utilities. Oil flat and a bit of a change from what we've seen this week. But what's really interesting about the sector board is we have strength here in the ES and the NQ, especially the NQ. And yet this market actually has quite a few sharply red sectors right across the board here for health services. We've got weakness here in producer manufacturing, with the exception of Amazon. Retail trade pretty weak here. Process industries, transportation. Also, we're noting here health technology, Eli Lilly to the downside, despite a couple positive catalysts with regards to their insulin and also their investment in this AI-based company. We also have finance here as well. BRKB actually red on the day as of right now, down by more than 1%. So bit of an interesting picture, except for these tech names, which are generally pretty strong here, especially if you look here at technology services. We've got Oracle, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Netflix leading this group to the upside. Also worth noting here in electronic technology, Broadcom up ahead of its earnings tonight. You can check those out after the market close. Apple and Nvidia also stronger, but a lot of these non-Mag 7 names, not necessarily the strongest, especially if you look at their strength compared to the sectors. Amazon, the only strong name here in retail trade. So interesting to think about the Mag 7 strength compared to what we're seeing in the rest of the market, guys.
Yeah, Berkshire, which literally couldn't have a red day, as you're pointing out, Sean. When the market decides it wants to make another scream up, that's when Berkshire goes down. So rotation. If people were scared and they go into Berkshire, when they get happy or not scared, they come out of it and take that profit and put it back into the names they wanted to dip by. And now you're getting screaming moves to the upside. So like C3AI, I'm going to move it. It just broke VWAP in here. So it's working to the downside, down 15%, but it broke the trend. If it gets back above VWAP and holds it, I'm getting out. Otherwise, I think hold into $19. Don't know where the bottom is going to be for this stock, but the fact that it's back underneath $20, when you go out to the daily chart, I mean, there's not a lot of support on the daily chart, but the last one was back in April, and that was at $20. Now that you're back underneath it, regain VWAP and I'm out. Intel still, there's not much change with this thing. It just wicked the high. I mean, if you have a stop at 1990, that's more luck than anything else because it just got to 1990, wicked this high at 89, and came back in here. It really needs to get down into the 70s. This is looking a little bit strong. I'm going to get out in front of VWAP on Intel and then try and regroup. If we can get VWAP, I think I should be happy with it. And I was going, I want to come back over to Apple. It's got a topping pattern here at 225. This is feeling a little bit different from the rest of the morning. See what I mean? Like you're holding on to this trend since VWAP, and now you've wicked the high at 225, and you're about to come out underneath it. This is normally an easy short setup, but there's nothing easy about it when it's so strong on good news. That said, it is a short setup if it reclaims underneath 225 for a bit of a trend break here. NASDAQ's holding out pretty nice, so it's not like the market's weak or anything like that, but yeah, you're about to break trend here on Apple if it closes underneath this trend line on the 3-minute.
Okay, so yeah, a good talk there on Intel, and like we said, we'll trading a little bit more shares, so getting some out now at 80s and 79s and things like that, just to try to go 1-to-1. I actually bidding 77s to get some more out here. Hopefully we can drip in just a little bit on Intel. Right, give us some 77s, man. Come on, that'll be nice. Our stop was at 91. We talked about that, so we could have averaged into it. But I said to you before, like, we're already trading with shares, and it's like you average in, then you get stopped out, then this happens. I already got stopped out once doing that. We got back in, and Intel continues to print for us. All right, well, new position, first time of the day. It's Nvidia, a name that may or may not be familiar with, especially if you've been watching the show. I actually was talking about Nvidia before when it was $1,200, and I was like, as soon as this splits, this will be P&L number one for myself, and it's been that way, and it's been a great opportunity to trade this name to the long and to the short side. Lots of opportunities for both sides of the bench. So right now, we'll wait to see where it goes. Just for Nvidia, I'm going to lose it at 108. So if this breaks 108, we'll get out of there. We just have a small position. We're going to triple it up. If it comes in and into 108, we'll try that level there. And hey, man, if, like I was saying, if it doesn't come in, it doesn't come in. But I'm pretty okay with losing on dip buy opportunities here for Nvidia. So that would be fine if that happens. So down into VWAP, we'll see if it can hold that level. We're waiting very patiently for that to happen. I didn't even have any offers. So we just took a position here at the 50 period. It's really absorbed that. And by the way, guys, end. Money. There it is, man. It is, for me, going to be quite the trade there on Apple as we get it out right there at 225.17s as it's coming back in a little bit here as well. So that was a good one. That was a really good trade. Breaking that 222 early. We put the most shares of Apple on there I think we've ever had on a break. So that was really good. And again, we felt it, man. It was going in the pre-market. It's going again right there. There comes Intel. Yes, sir. Money. So sometimes you feel good when you use more shares, and that's when it works. And then when it doesn't, you don't. But right now, it's working out pretty well for us here on INTC as it's starting to fall back in again here for us. So we'll wait to see about getting some more shares on Nvidia as it's coming back in. My bid, though, is at, just to tell you before I throw it over to Neil, where is it? 108.06. That seems a little bit low. So we might have to adjust that. Take some shares now, maybe.
So that trend break is you just got out of Apple. It broke trend. No fill. There you can see I didn't get fill when it broke back down to 225. Look how it's accelerating to the downside. I did just get out because that's an interesting time to have got out of both shorts. But I said I was going to trail out of AI if it got back into VWAP. So we got 45 to 75 on C3AI, but it broke VWAP back to the upside. It is SSR as well. So any bounce, I want to give some respect. So holding VWAP there. And then that 1970, we just got out on Intel. It's still an upward trend, but we got it just the one time there up top after losing in the morning. It's still the morning. Right at 9:30 off of the open, we grabbed it off that 19.9. So now I'm essentially flat because we got out of C3AI. I'm still favoring the short on the stock, but I'm going to have to look for another entry plan. That's either consolidation under VWAP or maybe a retracement back into the high. I don't need the trend line anymore. That sort of served its purpose over there. Nvidia VWAP, Apple possibly at VWAP. A couple of things to be able to look for here. And I feel like Apple it's been stronger. And we'll see how it responds to this 224 and VWAP here on the way back in. Keep in mind, it'll be 19,000 on the NASDAQ potentially too. So when you're looking for dip buys, let me just give you the black chart because I don't want to flip to the futures and get away. If you come to 1900, good psychological level, NASDAQ's trying to hold green on this little bit of a dip. So that's going to be important. If we hold on to that, I'd rather be in a strong stock. And Apple is stronger than the market by 4.5 times. So that's enough for me, 224. I mean, even Nvidia is stronger than the market by multiples here. So both these names at VWAP are looking a little bit juicy. I got to get over to NEO. We're starting to accelerate a bit to the downside. Not really dragging NEO with it. But if we lose the breakout price, I should jump out of this and wait for VWAP on NIO with the market coming back in and still being long. Holly saying, look at Eli Lilly.
Oh, no.
Don't mind not trading it.
920?
Oh, it broke 920. 911.
What? That was that level we talked about.
No, what, I see 911 is my low, my level 2, but it's 912. It's at $912. Yeah, Eli Lilly down 3.5%. I think it's just rotation. Lilly, Berkshire down today. JP, when I last looked at it, wasn't looking that good. The 50 period on Lily's at 895, so 895, 900. That would look like a reasonable place for buyers to step in. Wow, look at this sucker when it got to the 52-week high. Well, that was kind of a sell.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yep. I mean, that's what.
Little
Wow,
bit.
I didn't think it would
You
drop
never
back.
sell, and you never.
We had looked at that at 1920. It was at 1928 actually.
Yeah, I know.
When we looked at it, and I was
Probably
like,
should have
wow,
sold
whose is
some.
that? All right, we're in Nvidia right now. So here we go, man. 108.25. We're gonna give this one 50 cents. So let's see if it wants to work. We'll put a piece out there at 108.50s or so. Maybe we get something out there, but yeah, we're gonna hold out to see if it wants to get upside. There's that 108 hold. We wanted. Got sticky notes everywhere. We wanted to trade that level, so we're in it, and we're in it now. We talked about putting on some more shares, which is why we got that average price of 25s. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, we're trying to fight with VWAP right now. It is pulling back down. It's all good for Intel, man. We're short Intel, but we have way more shares, obviously, on Nvidia now, as we've been getting out of Intel. So it's our first test. You know, the market, everything's right now is at a bouncing spot. Neil just indicated 19,000. I think that's a good look. And something to remember as we wait out to see here if we do get that drop through 19,000. If we do, Nvidia will come out, man. I mean, that will instantly, I think, whoosh down. This is a whoosh moment in the futures right now. So, and what I mean by that, of course, is I don't mean it by jokingly. This is going to probably just flush if we do get that move down. So just be careful of that possibility here for Nvidia and for the futures if we break 19,000. Without any further ado, let's go to the desk.
EXY are kind of trying to hold on to this 101.30 area here. Nice wick down here into 101s before bouncing back up. We did get some economic data this morning. S&P Global Services PMI coming out here at 945. A little bit higher here than expected, 55.7 versus 55.2 expected. Then we got these ISM numbers, non-manufacturing PMI, also a bit above expectations here, 51.5 versus the estimate here of 51.3. ISM non-manufacturing prices also above expectations, 57.3 versus 56 expected. Tomorrow, we're going to get some more employment data. We had those JOLTS job numbers yesterday, the job openings, which we know the market had a pretty sharp reaction to, down and all the way back up. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., we get NFP and unemployment, so keep an eye out on that. Also worth noting here, reading some notes from the UBS senior U.S. economist saying that it looks like the DXY, the U.S. dollar, will probably continue to weaken as we actually get those rate cuts. So currently here, down 5% from its 2024 highs and close to its lows about a year ago. So interesting level here for the USD. We'll have to see how this reacts to ongoing inflation news, guys.
Drop through. Thank you, Adara, for all of that there as Nvidia does drop below. We said that there was going to be a little bit of a whooshy moment happening there. That's a very technical term. Breaking through 19,000. And you know what? It didn't really happen. It just went a little bit, man. It went to 18,990. It only went 10 handles. I would have thought there was a bigger chance for that to go a lot more than that. And it does not. So I don't know, man. Maybe it got bought up. Let's just wait to see what happens. 19,000 right now on the mend and trying to get itself figured out here as it goes. So we are back in a little bit of Nvidia. We did lose, though. We got stopped out there when it broke in, and then all of a sudden there was that bounce back. So we'll try it, man. We know we want to be in strong names. Obviously, Nvidia today up 1.7 is one of those names as we get going here with only 8 minutes to go. We're long Nvidia, and this is a good opportunity here. Intel is right at VWAP, so let's just punch a little bit more out. It's punched out immediately there at 64, 63. But yeah, Nvidia, nice little push back upside here. We take another fill there at 22. So far, so good on the reload for Nvidia because we did get stopped out of that first time. There it is.
19,000's holding.
Yeah, you said that's where VWAP was.
We're back, baby.
Yep, good call. I mean, we love VWAP. You guys know that.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is like when the futures aren't like, obviously, they're not like equities. Like, you're not going to break, it's not like breaking $100 on a stock. You break 19, you're probably not done until it gets 15 to 20 points on it. And we just held, like I saw down there was barely even 10 points. So you're holding on. VWAP is here on Apple, so that's what I'm in. I'm not usually looking for short entries at a level like this, but I don't want to forget that we had said Mara was relatively weak. And that was like 20, 30 minutes ago, and Mara just broke the low, and you could have just shorted the bottom. This just can't get off the bottom. And I'm looking over, Bitcoin's only at 56.5. Mara is now underneath support from the middle of August and trending toward the August 5 low here on Mara. I want to be joining this. I haven't figured out where. VWAP's a thing of the past. It feels like next available pop, as long as nothing crazy is happening on BTC. But as strong as the market had been, Mara's taking it on the chin a little bit here. Down 3% doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to put it in context of everything else. This should be a short at some point. Next available pop, I'll look at 14.5. It might be during the midday. I just want to make sure we say it. We only have 5 minutes to go in here. Apple at VWAP, that's what I'm in. And I don't really have any ideas for shorts yet again in C3AI. We'll probably jump back to it at some point. What else we got going on? You guys let us know if there's anything in the chat that we're not talking about that you guys are interested in. I know crypto is making some moves. That's why I wanted to bring that one up.
56.
Man, Mara is struggling today. Yeah, the production drop, Jeremy Newman on the hash rate. That's the reason why the miners aren't looking very good. Just wish we had actually shorted that.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
I mean, Raheem had brought that up about HUD 8 and stuff like that. So shout out to Alani, who did bring that one up to our attention. So maybe we should have done a little bit better job looking at that one. But okay. Here goes Nvidia, man. All right, so we're just 20 cents, 25 cents in the money. We just took a piece out there again at 108.10. Sorry, that was 15 cents. Here's now 25 cents as it starts to go back up. So our best out is right here at 22s, 108.50, 108.60. If we can do that, I'm sitting here at 40 though. I believe yes. So right, these sort of wick highs. If we can get going there, let's give it a shot just to see. I think there's a good chance that it goes, so we'll wait to see if Nvidia does want to hold that VWAP. And then, of course, as we keep on mentioning here, we really took advantage of
Intel.
Apple. Yeah, Intel for sure. Apple, sorry, getting out of that short right there. I really like the VWAP here. I'm already in Nvidia, so like if VWAP works, great. I love that Niels took that here on Apple.
Well, if one works, they're both going to work.
That's the thing. I mean, that's why I kind of want to stay away from getting into Apple, but we're in NVIDIA, and they're being completely different actually today. I feel like we'll review that in a minute, but right there's Intel right now. We took another piece out. Wow, what a trade that was, and we were seconds away from getting stopped out at 91. So you guys, I think this is a good lesson. Our risk to reward was 6 cents. We're short at 85. We're now in the money 22 cents. So that's a 4-to-1. And again, you know, we traded with a little more shares, so I had to get out when it came to the 50 period. Those are part of the rules. Then it comes down in there. We get some more out at 70 or 69, and now we can safely cover the rest right now. So maybe Tesla is one that could hold there into it. But the one thing that everyone is always interested in is what's for lunch. So today we get, it's a pretty good one again. I feel like this is a good possibility. We had gyros yesterday at the Katina household, and today it's like same theme, man. This keeps on coming back. Today it's Greek souvlaki with tzatziki. That should be good with grilled pita bread. So like pretty much what we had last night, other than it was beef or lamb. I think it was beef though. Traditional Greek salad with balsamic vinaigrette and
hold on a second. You're not lamb is like, you know, a different level.
In a gyro?
What? I'm just saying the lamb is so much better than beef.
Is it?
You don't think so? Okay.
I don't. No, I prefer beef.
Oh my goodness, I love lamb.
Yeah, that's okay. You're allowed.
I mean, I love whatever. Every time we talk about food, I basically just say I love it. So
what was
take it with
what was for dinner?
Take it with a grain of salt.
Robert's household.
You know what? My wife made fresh bread this weekend.
Yeah.
So she made 3 loaves, one of which was for a charity thing at her work. So she took that in. But we need to get, you know, it's fresh. We want to make sure we ate it. So we had fresh sandwiches yesterday. So like we had some ham. We did up some bacon, fresh tomatoes. I don't put mayonnaise on it. My wife puts mayonnaise on hers. My daughter puts mayonnaise on hers. That's right. I will have essentially it was like a BLT, but with ham as well. And it was so good. It needed nothing else on, like no butter, no mayo. It was just delicious. I love fresh bread. I can eat it all day long. And as a matter of fact, when I was done, I actually had like peanut butter for another one because I was still hungry. Man, now I want fresh bread. We get pita bread.
Well, yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah, it says fresh Greek pita bread. So, all right, 1057 coming through again. Here we go. 108 for Nvidia. We just took some more out there. We were lucky enough to get a 33 print. So props that up, man, as Nvidia. Story continues. We're buying some dips there, and we did get stopped out. Make a little bit back. We'll be relatively flat on Nvidia. Obviously, with this pending trade, we still have half of this position. Let's see if Nvidia wants to make it go back up there into the upside and see if it blows back up into 109.50. That would be nice. I think we're going to start covering some if it gets back to 109, 108. I mean, anything before 109, I expect to see some covers over there for me. Other than that, man, it's kind of the same thing as we go. Intel will wait for a little lower than this. If Nvidia fails, we can definitely get this 55 level. So that's where I'm at right now, looking to get some 55s or so on Intel. So that's it. Looking for higher on Nvidia. I think we can get it. I'm looking for lower on Intel. So it's, things don't change.
Yeah, nothing's really changed here. I can tell you for all of you, everybody trading ASTS, don't want to ignore it, but down 12% and breaking VWAP. So ASTS is catching a bit of a bid here. Look at that flat top break at VWAP at 28.25. Looks like it's on one back to the upside. It has been bleeding. Yesterday was an update for it, but it has been bleeding most of the morning. I think keying on yesterday's low, when it gets to this 29 again, can it hold above $29? It might be worth joining this if it can hold on to VWAP, but not yet. It's a VWAP, Apple, Nvidia, market 19,000 kind of moment right now. I think that's what we're in. And in looking for things, if we lose 19,000, you got to be thinking about what can be a short. Why am I still bidding? Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So 176 broke on Amazon. I didn't actually get the long. I didn't realize I still had the bid out there. It didn't fill.
There goes Nvidia.
But if we lose VWAP, Amazon's at VWAP. Oh, Apple just lost it as well. Okay, just get over C3AI. If we have 15 seconds to go, C3AI is trying to regain VWAP here. I'm thinking short under VWAP. I did trail out at the same price, but I want to jump back in and join the short on C3AI. So the market's starting to come back, and we've just lost 19,000, everybody. What interesting timing, because it's been trends all week. Did we just get a trend reversal as we're heading on over to the midday with Sharif and Adara? Go get them.
Go get them.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome